Welcome to the Late Night Boxing Talks. I had a thrilling conversation with Alexius of Olympia, yesterday. Really, not yesterday, more like yesterday going in, which continued into today. And we were talking about that whole Fury thing, basically as it pertained to Anthony Joshua fighting Jermaine Franklin and how, the bar is set exceptionally low based on his contemporaries that what it do, more the machine. Oh, dirty, what it do. You know what I mean? And how, his contemporaries, when you think about it, Michael, what it do? 808. You know what I mean? And that, his contemporaries set the bar very low in their previous fights. That Deontay Wilder basically fought a sparring partner who had already been beat by two guys that he beat, Johan Duhaupas was the first one to give Robert Helenius a loss. Derek Chisora unofficially, but on paper, Johan Duhaupas beat him first, and Wilder beat Duhaupas. Gerald Washington ended up knocking him out, I believe it was, also more recently, and Wilder knocked out Washington. So if it's okay for Deontay to rebound off a loss with an old sparring partner who's been beat by guys that he beat, why would it not be okay for Anthony Joshua to fight Jermaine Franklin? They're on an even keel. They're both coming off of losses. And then the subject of Tyson Fury was broached, and how Tyson Fury fought in a pointless trilogy fight that no one was asking for after turning everything into a circus. Because, if you actually thought that he was serious about fighting Anthony Joshua, you're either pushing a narrative or you have no common sense. That the guy's coming off of 2 consecutive losses. And Fury, instead of calling him, which he could have done because he has his number, and instead of calling Eddie Hearn, which he could have done because he has his number, the first thing he does is go to social media with a challenge. And it's like, bro, if you was really trying to make a fight, you're not going to do all that. You just doing that publicly because you want to make him look bad. It's like a bluff, basically. You want him to openly reject your challenge so that he'll look bad. You were never serious about doing a fight because a fight that size, you can't do it in that time frame. Like, least of all when the guy's coming off of 2 losses anyway, you're expecting him to say no. Whereas what Alexis was saying was that, oh no, he chickened out, and it's like he's towing the line. Like I told him, I'm like, you're just towing the top-ranked company line. That's all you're doing, because anybody could look at that and see that, listen, this dude is not serious, because you don't seriously expect them to say yes. And you can't seriously do a fight like this between 2 guys who have exclusivity deals with 2 separate platforms. They're promoted by 2 separate outfits. You can't hope to really do a fight like this on this schedule. The only reason you're doing what you're doing is because you want to make the guy look bad, not because you're serious about fighting him. And, he toes the line. And, it's just, he wanted to frame it to where the Chisora fight, I guess, wasn't pointless, even though it was pointless. It wasn't a fun fight to watch. It certainly wasn't box office worthy. I don't even think the first 2 fights were pay-per-views, but because Fury is with Top Rank, he wanted to frame it to where, he's just looking out for his friend and he's this nice guy. Like, yeah, bro, just toe that company line. A lot of people do that. They have their promotional outfits that they really like. And, hold on, let me, you just communicate. And, we talked about that and how basically the Jermaine Franklin fight is not a fight that I'm particularly excited about. But I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad. 2 guys coming off of losses, they're on an even keel. So I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's great. It wasn't my first choice. My first choice would have been Otto Verleen. I firmly believe Anthony can stop that guy. And in stopping that guy, that sends the right message, because that's a guy that's never been stopped, even though he did share the ring with Tyson Fury. That guy's never been knocked out. He gave a very good account of himself. He's a good boxer, that guy. And I would have preferred if it were Otto Valine instead of Jermaine. Though, like I said, Jermaine is not a horrible choice. It's not horrible. Like there are worse choices, like fighting Derek Chisora again. That's actually worse. It's a worse choice. And if you're saying that, oh, well, look at how many people showed up as a means to justify it, you do realize a lot of people are going to show up to Joshua's fight. Like, that's really not, you know what I mean? Quentin, what it do? Shoot Quentin the link. Get it crack-a-lackin'. The link is for Quentin. For Quentin. You know, we've been having a lot of discussions about this whole Crawford and Spence thing. And, you know, when you just review the paper trail, it's just obvious. You know, the last video I did, that's really all I have to say about it. The last upload that I did this morning, that, you know, like if you look at that, if you can look at all that evidence, because it's not opinion, it's my opinion based on evidence. If you can look at all of that stuff and you still come to the conclusion that this dude, that they was really trying to fight, que lo que, Mr. I know boxing, ya tu sabes. And, you know, if you can look at all of that stuff and you're still telling yourself that they was for real, you're just being obtuse. You would have to be, you know. You would have to be being obtuse to actually believe that they were trying to do that fight. Unbiased, what it do? Drew, what it do? We out here.
What's happening? What's happening?
Q, what it do?
Just saw you was on.
Yeah, you know, because
Good evening, everybody.
Q, I seen the discussion that y'all was having.
Good evening, brothers. Good evening.
And I wouldn't mind, you know, I wouldn't mind just a discussion, because that's the other thing. It doesn't have to be a debate. It could be a discussion about that whole thing, because I'm like, I don't know. For me, it just seems like, yo, dog, it's obvious. Like, it's very obvious, you know, and you have to argue very hard to make that seem like it was a good deal. For a perspective, Deontay Wilder wanted 50% of a Joshua fight for having one belt, right? And there was people that thought that was, oh yeah, that's yeah, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, all they offering Bud with no guarantee, because Wilder was going to get a guarantee, with no guarantee, he supposed to just take the 35%, and that's supposed to be a great deal.
Yeah, man. I mean, ultimately, I think people kind of, you know, when they pick a side of the fence that they want to stand on, it's really, really difficult for people to face the reality that maybe there was a better option, or maybe what they initially thought was wrong. I'll give you a perfect example. When I first started watching boxing and really watching it on a regular basis, not just the big fights as a casual fan, was back in 2016. It was right after I graduated from college. And it was right when I had a lot more time on my hands to kind of, you know, just consume the kind of content I wanted to consume. I wasn't playing basketball anymore, yada, yada. Well, I was a Spence fan initially because the only thing I could watch was Showtime fights. That's all I had. I had Showtime. I didn't have HBO, right? So I couldn't watch any of their HBO After Dark. I wasn't a fan from the 90s, so I had to do all of this research to find out about all of this stuff that's happened before I started watching boxing. And what a lot of these guys are doing is because they started off being fans of a specific network, that's all they like. And because that's all they like, when somebody shows them something different, when somebody says something or shows them that, oh, maybe the guy that I like, he's not taking the fight I actually want him to take. Or maybe the guy that I like, he actually did take a worse deal than the one that he could have had. It's hard for people to face that, man. I had to face that. I'm not a Spence fan anymore because I don't like how he's been moving. Now, I think that he's a great fighter. I think he's a really good fighter. But I don't think that he's as good as I thought he was when I first saw him, because of all of the things that I just mentioned. He's not taking the fights that we really want to see. And really, we're only asking him to take one fight. It's not like we asking him to take 4 or 5 fights.
Because we ain't asking him. And that's the weirdest thing, that these conversations that go on, really these arguments and debates that we have, it's almost like they feel like we're asking Spence to do something that we wouldn't ask anybody else to do. And no, this is what we ask everybody to do. And with Spence, it's the same with me, bro. In 2016 and 2017, I was a Spence fan. I was. You could look at the videos from that time. I was a Spence fan. But just like when I seen how he started moving, I'm like, Come on, B. You don't sound like a guy that want to fight, bro. Talking about who he fought, what this, what that. You know what I mean? It was obvious to me that, like, yo, dog, instead of telling us about who he fought or who he didn't fight him and show us. Simple.
Right.
You're a fighter. You're a
Yeah.
champion.
I mean,
Fight and show us.
the reality is, man, is that a lot of times with PBC fighters, because it's all kept in house for the most part, they're all kept, to themselves pretty much. When they can't get the fights that are supposed to happen, whether it's talking about Tank, whether about the other, whether we're talking about Jamal Charlo, what happens is these guys get credit for fights that they never fought because they're not allowed to, or they don't want to take the fights that we're asking for. So their fans say, oh, well, he's better than that guy. Oh, he's better than that guy. It's like, well, why don't we stop talking about it and just tell your favorite fighter to take the fight so we can find out? Because you don't get credit for fights that have never happened. You get credit for fights that you took.
Let me take it to Sawab. Sawab, what do you think about that? It's stimulating, Sawab. I agree. Julio.
Excellent point, Sawab.
Fans ain't shit. He's fixing these fights.
I mean, like, my thing with Spence is just that. Who mic is that? Who mic is that?
Is it me?
Yeah,
Not
me.
Is it me, bro? I'm in the. It was all perfectly fine with me.
All right, it sounds okay. And my thing with Spence is that I don't know who mic that is. Who mic that is? All right, now, my thing with Spence is that if you really look at the last 3-4 years, it's mediocre, bro. He's fought what? He fought once in late 2020, didn't fight at all in 2021, only fought once last year, and he's not going to fight again until 5 months into this year. And I look at this fighter and I'm like, well, how is he really creating excitement for the division and the sport on a schedule like that, on top of not giving us the fight that we want? And all these these shenanigans, it's like, yo, dog, like, be real. If they really wanted to fight this Crawford dude and he was serious about, I don't take no tune-ups, then why the fuck you fighting Thurman? It ain't because they ordered you to fight him. You're fighting him at junior middleweight. So it ain't because they ordered you to fight him. Shit is silly, man.
It has been silly, but my issue, like, you can go on my Twitter since the inception, me and my boy Jason, I have never been a PBC fan just because I saw it was coming 7-8 years ago. And look at the activity. These guys are part-time fighters.
They are.
And we're not the funny thing is, we're asking Spence for one fight. Meanwhile, those same guys defending him are asking the world of Canelo.
Yeah, they're asking Canelo for like 8 fights. He got to fight.
Bro,
You gotta fight Charlo, you gotta fight Damas, you gotta fight
Charlo.
But Drew, real quick. Drew, you're an OG, like a PBC hater, right? So when you first saw the card, right, the first ever card, the televised card on NBC, did that raise your eyebrow and see the matchup as like, wait a minute, these things need to be flipped because like we're seeing a showcase card right now, and that's been the template since then, right?
It's been, they came out with a little bit of buzz. They came out basically that Tank pay-per-view card. That used to be a PBC on NBC card when the first card with Thurman. Who was on that card? Drew Thurman, Broner.
John Molina, I think.
So they were giving us those showcase cards that are on pay-per-view now on regular TV.
Yeah, like the matchmaking was really soft. I don't know who.
what the fuck?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Well, ain't me this time.
Yeah, like the matchmaking. I remember that at the start, like around circa 2015, 2016, the matchmaking was a bit soft. You'd get a good fight, or what was intended to be a good fight, because Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman was intended to be a good fight. It didn't deliver aesthetically. It didn't. Like, it wasn't really a a memorable fight. But on paper and in the build-up, it was intended to be a memorable fight. It was a unification match. They were both unbeaten. And it's just weird because that fight, I say it all the time, that fight got like 6 million viewers, right? And it's sad because if 6 million people would have saw Lara versus Hurd, they wouldn't have been disappointed. That was a great fight. And they didn't watch that one. And the timing of that card was bad also because it ran really long and it was really late. But, it's just like, like the matchmaking being soft, it's been that way from the beginning.
And they came out, PBC came out with all of Oscar's fighters. They didn't have Oscar's matchmaker. And even since then, Jules, was Heyman signing any of the fucking prospects from 2015 on?
No. None of the Olympians. Not those guys. None of those guys. No. Not like those guys ended up going to other outfits in general. To be honest, like the only Olympian that I know that he had was Marcus Brown, because he was an Olympian. He was on the U.S. team, but other than that, I don't remember him signing blue chip prospects.
I don't recall. And how long did it take for us to get Spence versus Porter, Danny versus Porter? Look how long it took for them from the inception of PBC to now. All those dudes should at least had rematches. They should have all fought that same year, each other.
I mean, the main thing
go ahead.
The main thing is that look, at the end of the day, somebody has to do something.
What the fuck? Oh my god! Jules is here to save the boxing universe.
Bro. Somebody has to do something. So if I gotta call out Al Heyman with the Captain America mask, that's the fuck I gotta do. This is my son shit.
That shit fit you though.
That's crazy.
Oh, yo. It's wild out there.
Peep this though, man. I think realistically, if we all being honest about the situation, with the way that Spence is moving, honestly, I would be happier if he just moved to 154, started a campaign there, and actually tried to get a title at 154.
And vacate the belts.
Obviously, the belts are, because vacate the belts at 147, right? We already know that Jamel is probably not going to come back to 154. Even if he does, it might be for one more fight. And then he can go ahead and he'll move up to 160. I would rather see Spence go up and actually fight the 154 guys. At least in that aspect, it'd be like, okay, he doesn't think that the Crawford fight's going to happen. I'm going to move up to 154. Let me fight Tony Harrison. Let me fight a Tim Tszyu.
And I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you, Q. I'm kind of with you, but I just hate the way that it's framed. And because it's like, it would be better for welterweight if he did that. But it's just the way that it's framed that, oh yeah, all of this is Crawford. Like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, like,
nah, I don't believe that. You know that I don't believe that it's a Crawford thing.
And
I hear what you're saying in principle, but my pragmatic, cynical ass knows that Errol Spence doesn't live a fighter lifestyle. He's not in the physical shape to fight 3 times a year or go on a run to consolidate 54 in 16 to 18 months like Canelo.
Yeah, that's the other thing, Q, that if he go to 54, it's not like the dichotomy of things is going to change. I anticipate that he would still keep a similar schedule of activity, which is next to no activity, to be complete. Like, I don't think that he's going to go up there and all of a sudden we're going to see him 2 and 3 times a year. I wouldn't be surprised if he only fights once this year, though. I am expecting him to fight Sebastian Fundora because, for those that don't know, the rumor is Danny Garcia is about to fight Sebastian Fundora. That's 2 common opponents between him and Spence.
Oh, Danny is
with our luck and with our PBC luck, Danny Garcia wins that fight on a gift from the cards. We get a rematch of Errol and Danny at 54. No one's buying that shit. No one bought the first fight.
I don't think they go that far.
No, I think that's legitimate. I think that's actually
I don't think
a possibility to happen. Because that's all they do is recycle fights.
They did Stevenson versus Funfara too, bro. They did
exactly.
Cruz versus Mara.
They
did Wilder versus Ortiz too, bro.
But if Spence leaves welterweight, there's still mega fights that can be made at that weight.
Yeah, Crawford Ortiz.
That's my point, y'all.
Ortiz
that's
versus Ennis.
I don't think.
How much do you guys think Ortiz versus Ennis would do right now?
Nothing. Not right now.
Nothing, because nobody knows who Ennis is, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not right now.
They're
Like
not
that
promoting him
fight.
right.
Yeah, like if you really wanted to turn over a profit, he would need to fight. And I'm not knocking him if they want to do the fight next. Ideal world shit that never happens in boxing. Of course, I would want the fight to happen sooner than later. But yeah, money wise, that fight won't make money now. But Ortiz versus Crawford in Texas
Okay,
will make
yeah,
money.
that's big.
That'll make money.
Yeah.
That's a
If
big
you look
fight.
at the landscape, though, fellas, like me and Drew's been talking about it the last, I guess, 9 to 12 months. The fights on Showtime are under a strict budget. Jaron Ennis is now going to be an undercard fighter for whoever's pay-per-view to try to
Yep.
sell it
Yep.
because there's no money, and it's just like these dudes move up. They're all every time Spence or any of these dudes with a name fight over there, it's going to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, this is the conversation that we had last year when you asked Stefan, well, how many of those shows are going to be box office shows? And you see that everything they're announcing is a pay-per-view, which means Showtime isn't necessarily, it's not coming out the boxing budget or the bulk of it, the bulk of the money you hope to make is supposed to be coming from us, which is ridiculous because that's basically 4 pay-per-views from you alone. That's not what the zone is going to do.
I give the Weasel credit, Jules. He knows what we were doing, asking him that. He knows that we knew the answer to that already, so he answered it that way. So nobody can go back and blame like, "Oh, you had a decision to that." Like, no, it was up to the promoters. Fuck out of here, man.
And that's the other thing too. That those decisions are not up to the promoters; they're actually up to the network. Remember what Bob said in the thick of the pandemic? He said it was up to ESPN to bill Lomachenko versus Lopez as a pay-per-view or not. He said it's up to them. And I would think that, yeah, of course it's up to them. The money comes from them. The budget comes from them. So, of course, they're going to have that say-so that, yeah, it's going to be a pay-per-view or no, it's not going to be a pay-per-view. When Bob said it, it's the network. When Espinoza says it, who's supposed to be the network, you're supposed to be the executive. You just Al Heyman's doja, like you his son.
And that's Espinoza said that, and I remember we both brought up Jules. Well, the president of Showtime says there's belt tightening. So how is it up to the promoter when most likely they're not giving you no fucking $1 million for Danny Garcia and $700,000 for Sebastian Fundora on regular Showtime?
Let me read the super chat. Osvaldo Perez says, "Are you watching Pro Box today?" No, not today. Today we chopping it up real quick. Yeah, I mean.
Real quick, Jules, do you want to guess the size of Oscar's girl's titties to get free tickets?
Yo,
that's a real sweepstakes.
Go look at what Oscar tweeted.
I think it's 36D. Let me go talk to Oscar. Let me go talk to Oscar. I know Oscar like
Oscar must have hit a line before he tweeted that or something.
He was trying to fit into a thong yesterday.
Oh no.
Yo, Oscar literally has his Twitter followers as his matchmaker. Ever since he didn't rehire this guy.
Mine's is 30. I put in 36D.
Damn, tickets must not be moving.
I mean, it's a lot of fights that ain't buzzing right now. Like Navarrete is about to fight the Australian kid. He's gonna knock him out. Like I'm confident he's gonna knock him out. Sad that it wasn't Oscar Valdez because what that essentially means is that when Oscar comes back, it's not gonna be about Navarrete, bro. He's not gonna fight that dude off no long ass layoff. He gonna need a tune-up fight. You probably get the tune-up in the summer. Maybe we get Navarrete versus Valdez in the fall or the winter, which is fucked because we were supposed to be getting that around now.
Yeah, there's no buzz, bro. It's NFL championship weekend.
Yeah,
was just so there's no big fights right now.
It's not the season to put on big fights.
No, it's not January to like it's Super Bowl, really.
It's been good to have fights around this time of the year.
Damn sure, man, you're right about that.
When
Bias.
we're talking about budgeting, though, when you talk about that Showtime budgeting thing, man, the funny thing that comes to my mind is the fact that we're at the end of January now, and we still don't have any schedule. We don't have any regular fights on Showtime. We don't have anything but rumored pay-per-views. That tells me a lot about the fact that they have not been given an annual budget. And if they have been given an annual budget, it's very, very small.
It's small, bro. This is what I always thought it was gonna be, bro. That like, look, if you're sticking a bunch of fights on pay-per-view, it's because you don't have it in the budget to do them off the budget. You gotta hope that the money comes from us. And it's like, well, these aren't even spaced out. Benavidez versus Plant in March. Davis versus Garcia in April. fucking Spence versus Thurman in May, Wilder versus Ruiz presumably in June, and that's 4 from y'all. That's not counting Haney
within
versus
the second quarter.
That's not counting on Haney versus Lomachenko or Canelo's next fight or Usyk versus Fury, which could be a pay-per-view. It could end up being a pay-per-view. I don't know, but it could be. So it's like, bruh, the first thing you announce is, we're going to charge y'all $300 from the first quarter to this. That's the announcement. You don't got no regularly scheduled fights. You just have pay-per-views.
Yeah. Like, you know how the NBA, they have a big board. They show you all the scheduled games they have planned. I barely see that with PBC, They're going to have to, like, well, if they're going to do just strictly pay-per-views, you know how you say that the executives are going to be belt-tightening? Well, the fans are going to be doing the same with their wallets.
Yeah, you can't. You're oversaturating the market. That's not dissimilar from what I see out here. There's a McDonald's. There's a McDonald's every like mile or 2 miles. So yes, there is. But they had a fucking McDonald's across the street from a McDonald's at the Walmart.
I've seen that.
It's a fucking
my Walmart.
They have McDonald's and Walmart.
It's supply and demand. You see a Starbucks in front of another Starbucks.
How are you saying it's not? And it's a McDonald's up the road, and down the road it's another McDonald's, and down the.
I mean, the funny thing is,
but hold on, George. The thing with PBC pay-per-views, the supply of pay-per-views is not living up to the demand because they're just putting out bullshit.
Listen, some of those pay-per-views really should be rolled into one. To be completely honest,
that's what I've been saying. Is like, instead of doing the pay-per-view every month, take 2 of these fights and put them in one and actually create the value of the card that actually moves the needle. But they're not interested in doing so. They're trying to milk as much from the cow as possible.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Whoever at Showtime is just calling shots as the CEO left. They talked to Fox and Bill Wenger. So basically, all the pay-per-views, they don't put no cost up for that, and they take 10% of whatever they take, whatever the pay-per-views are. Bong, we take our fucking shit off the top.
Yeah, with Fox,
so we're gonna make some money off of that, and the budget for the regular Showtime cards, they're making money off it because the labor's cheap.
Yeah, like that's what was going on at Fox, which is it doesn't herald a good thing. In other words, that if Showtime is all of a sudden staging the same frequency of box office fights that Fox was, you know why Fox was doing that? Because they didn't want to give you any money. They didn't want to give you any money, so they're just telling you, you can use our platform and we'll take our cut from you using our platform. But as far as us giving you money, no, we're not going to give you any money. And that looks to be the situation at Showtime because all you've announced or all we're hearing about are box office fights. It's not a comprehensive. And I literally used to do an episode about this annually whenever Showtime would release the schedule in the first quarter of all the fights we're going to see. I used to do an episode about that. But now you see, there's no episode to do about that because there is no schedule. There's no schedule.
They're flying off the seat of their pants.
And not only that, y'all, but you got to also remember too the fact that the cards now they've been always happening, at least that I can remember. They always happen very, very late at night. Mm-hmm. But if those cards were doing the numbers that they should be doing, if those cards were doing, quality numbers, we would be talking about seeing those fights in prime time. We'd be seeing those fights happening starting at 7 p.m. local time, wherever the card is happening at. They would be putting the main card on earlier in the night because they know it'd be running the numbers up. But they're slapping the main event at 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Like, what is that?
Exactly. And that's because where these cards are happening is indicative of their level of priority. You know what I mean? That we'll look at when the card is happening. They don't expect that very many people are going to be awake at that time, so it's negligible. If it were bringing in at least 1 million viewers or 2 million viewers or something like that, well, that would be great for Showtime. But these fights, they're doing at or around what? And we're not talking about pay-per-view. We're talking about regular viewership. They're doing maybe 230,000 viewers, regular Showtime fights, not pay-per-views. 230,000, 130,000. It's like, bro, it don't look good. And if you're the people that are above Stefan Espinosa's pay grade, you're going to look at that. You're going to say, how much is this programming a part of our bottom line? What amount of money are we spending for this? Because we don't seem to be getting anything out of it. Our subscriptions are driven by story-based programming, not sports. And we are not a sports network. So maybe we can cut, some budget cuts, because we don't really get nothing out of showing that. We'll keep it, but we don't really get nothing out of showing that. Not at the box office and not in the regular viewership.
The analogy is when you care about a woman, you take that girl out in the middle of the daytime. You want to be seen with her. You want to be holding hands with her. You want everybody to know that's your girl. The girl you don't want nobody to know about is the girl that you only ask to come over once it's nighttime. You bang that thing, you sling that thing, you let her go. That's exactly what it is.
Yo, that's really PBC, yo.
Julius, I have a question for you. I've been watching some of these debates about the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence negotiations. And look, more than questioning who is to blame in that particular subject, I have two-part questions. According to you, what you have read or everything you are investigated so far, haven't been a report that can be traceable that Terrence Crawford was offered a minimum guarantee?
I looked. I'll answer that question. I looked because all I heard were gossips and rumors. That's all I heard. And the latest I heard in reference to that is verifiable is that Terrence Crawford himself, out of his own mouth, says he was never offered a guarantee at any point. And if you don't believe me, I will point you in the direction of the video that I posted on Twitter. The timestamp is 10:50, 10 minutes and 50 seconds into the video. He says in his own words, I was not guaranteed anything at any point.
Okay, and the second part of this question is in any form and is in any report of Terrence Crawford, the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford having a date, actual date for that happen?
I'll tell you what happened, bro. There were rumors and gossips the way we're accustomed to. There were rumors and gossips. But what stands out is that in reference to the rumors and gossips that were around about a fall fight date, because in the summer there were rumors about a fall fight date, Floyd Mayweather said that is false. He said that in June, which is why I put that in the video, that everybody was talking about that over the summer, but I guess people have short memories, whatever. But people were talking about a potential fall fight date because they were said to be in negotiations, right? And Floyd said in plain English, no, that's false. That's what he said.
Yeah, because I have heard some in other channels that there was actually a date in the contract. That's not verifiable.
It's not.
No. This is the thing about that debate. Every time that one of these Errol Spence guys goes and says, look, I have the silver bullet to end this debate, it's never traceable. Never.
No, it's not. I looked. I mean, like seriously, I looked. There has never been a report that shows, yes, Showtime and so, they want to do it on this date. It was always just rumors and gossip. Rumors and gossip. And when Floyd Mayweather, we all know he does business with Al Heyman. We all know this, so I shouldn't have to say that. When he says that is false, I'm going to assume, all right, it's false then.
The hilarity of this and all this is Floyd is direct. The rumors were just flying that they knew more than Floyd, and what's his name, the dude of communications, and it's these same Tim Smith, these same Errol Spence people that are saying Crawford. Well, if that's the case, Crawford released the contract and show us that there was no guarantee. Are the same ones attacking the Tank pay-per-view numbers when they say, well, Espinosa released a press release.
Well, didn't Errol corroborate?
The thing is that let me pass it to Julio first, and let me say this. The thing is that they treat it as if the burden of proof is on Crawford when no, Crawford stated in plain English, no guarantee, and y'all wanted it next year. So the burden of proof is actually on you to prove he's lying because he was a party to those negotiations. You weren't. So if you're saying the opposite of what he's saying, prove it. Prove he's lying.
Yeah, but
Well,
also
you
didn't
know,
Errol
Floyd
corroborate the
actually
fact
came
that
One at a
out and
time,
said,
fellas. It's Julio's turn. One at a time. Go ahead, Julio.
yeah, didn't Errol corroborate the fact that neither of them were offered a guarantee anyway?
Yep.
Like, didn't he say in plain English as well? Like, yeah, I was fine with it.
Well, the disconnect is that the fight didn't fall apart because of the lack of a guarantee. The fight fell apart because Terrence took a tune-up fight. If you listen to everything in sequence, what caused Errol to move on was that Terrence decided, since I haven't fought this year, and we're not going to be fighting this year, that I'm going to have a tune-up fight. And if you watch the video, which I posted on Twitter, I recorded the whole thing in November. I recorded the whole thing from beginning to end. What Terrence said is that Heyman told him, if you do that, he's going to move on and he's going to go make 8 figures. And he's going to fight Thurman.
you know
Didn't
what?
they threaten Ryan with the same thing? Like, if you take
Yes, and I did a video on that. The thumbnail says Davis tries to sabotage Ryan Garcia. The video with Ryan saying it, that they told me, if I take a tune-up fight, we not doing this Davis fight. That video is in there. Is it a
Sound
coincidence?
Sounds very familiar, like a pattern. You know, and don't forget, Floyd actually came out and said, if you work for Al Heyman, you work for me. So you're going to take Floyd's word over anybody else's because he's working with Al Heyman. I mean, it's like,
and moreover, he was right. We didn't get a fucking fight in the fall, right? No, we didn't get a fucking fight in the. You know what we got in the fall? Terrence Crawford saying they weren't going to do the fight this year. They wanted to do it next year.
Willie Lynch, super chat.
Samson Lukowicz said today that Fundora versus Garcia was a rumor and asked for people to stop spreading fake news. Makes me wonder who made them mad. I believe that fight may happen. Because if you're Danny Garcia, do you want to go up to 160 for Erislan De Lara? Because that's the other rumor. And he is ranked by the WBA at middleweight for some fucking reason. I don't know how the fuck you get a rank at that weight and you ain't even fought there. So it's either Lara or Fundora. Neither would surprise me, but that is the rumor.
Hey guys, you know the reason why Heyman told Bud basically, if you take this fight, we're gonna move on. And this is, I can't say this is a fact, but just based on history, any fight that they make that they're not 80% confident that their fighter is going to win, they have to have 80% of the advantages.
Oh, yeah.
So once you take away that rust from him, that takes away the advantage. So we're not going to give you the fight now because now you've taken the advantage away from us.
Thank you, Unbiased. Thank you, because that's what I've always thought it was. You wanted a rusty, inactive fighter, and if you see that he's shaking off the cobwebs, that's one less advantage that you have.
And then on top of that, Jules, it's just bottom line is this. You know, I told y'all the cool boy was going to step up because he got pride. He got pride. He got pride as a fighter. If a fighter wants a fight to happen, he's going to tell his promotional company that works for him, this is the fight I want. No ifs, ands, or buts. No matter what, the fight has to be made. Cool Boy is doing what Errol Spence did not do. Errol Spence is hiding behind his promotional company.
Unbiased, don't jinx it. Unbiased, don't jinx it because
it's not done. It's not official.
I'm gonna kind of take credit for Schoolboy because we had like a vicious back and forth on Twitter where I just said like, look, bro, your ratings are trash, your ticket sales are trash. No one gives a fuck about you. Take your fucking ass over there and ask Al for permission to stamp the fucking passport.
I mean, honestly, the other thing is that there was backlash, you know, that there was palpable backlash that could have influenced Stefan's decision. I think that's a credible argument because, remember, he went live on Instagram to address all the criticism that he was getting. Like, you could see that, yeah, it's getting to him. It's bothering him because he felt inclined to address it.
But, Jules, he started the shit with fucking saying, okay, first he said, I could fucking wash him your way. Then he said, Inoue ain't nothing without his power. And then you go and go rematch Figueroa.
Yeah, I mean, he painted himself into that corner.
The trippy part is that I'm just really surprised that Al's not trying to interfere with that yet.
I
Yet.
really think he. I really think. I told you. I mean, again, I don't want to jinx anything, even though I think speaking positive actually helps. But I felt that Fulton had a certain amount of pride that was based on when I was seeing him communicating with y'all and when he was getting attacked, I saw a certain amount of pride in him where I said, you know what, he's gonna say, F it. I'm gonna fight this dude because everybody thinking I'm a punk. I'm not a punk, I'm a fighter. And
My
I
question
felt like
is
he
this.
stepped up to the plate.
Go ahead, country.
My question is this, though, is that, how did he successfully go against the grain with Al? That's the intrigue. How in the hell
He probably told him there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the fight that's got to be made. I don't want to hear it. If you say anything about it, I'm going to speak my displeasure if you keep me from making this fight happen.
Now, let me read these two super chats. Let me read these two super chats. Can you guys tell me the hype about Breadman as a trainer, especially with Plant bragging about having him? He's still living off that herd win. I mean, I don't think Breadman's a bad trainer, but I do think they're a good match. Breadman is a cerebral kind of trainer, and Caleb is a cerebral kind of fighter. So it's a good. You see the shit, and it's. I think it's a good match, but I mean, I'm just gonna be honest that as much as I would like to see Caleb win that fight because of how fucking funny that Sunday would be, I don't trust his gas tank. I still don't. Like you gonna have to beat this dude up in a way that you ain't beat nobody up before. Because if it goes the distance, you lose. You will lose. You'll gas out. You'll get tired. You'll get walked down. You'll get beat up. So you got to surprise this motherfucker. That's really what you got to do. How Bivol surprised Zerto. Everybody thinking Bivol going to be on the back foot all night, circling away all night. No, he surprised him. Like, no, I'm in your face. I'm in your face.
Unless he paces
And what I'll
himself
say
early.
to unbiased about the Fulton, my whole issue with him, I'm like, look, damn the legacy, damn the bullshit. Bro, go over there and make that $3 fucking million. That was I'm like, you deserve to make that fucking money. Stop bullshitting. Fuck the pride. Do that shit fucking for the bread.
If nothing else, do it for the fucking bread. That's the other thing. Let me read the super chat. Why is it on Crawford? I dropped $80 to watch Spence say I want Crawford, and he also said I'm not fighting Keith. Does he get a pass for lying? With some people he does. With us he doesn't. Like with us he doesn't. Like if you're thinking I'm going to pay $80 to see Spence versus Fundora, which really I think that's the plan. I honestly do. I can feel it in my gut. That's the plan. Spence versus Fundora for the WBC title as soon as Jermell vacates, because I don't think he's coming back. The amount of time he spent away, it just doesn't make sense that he would come back to 154. And if you think that, oh yeah, well now we're going to start this over and we're going to be doing this for the next 2 and 3 years where, Crawford has to go to June. I'm not fucking doing that, bro. I am not fucking doing that. And that's going to be the campaign. You guys know that, right? Crawford has to move up. Crawford has to move up. You fucked up Undisputed, bro. That was what this was all about. That's what this was all about. Strap season.
Yep.
I got a question for y'all.
Good.
This might ruffle some feathers. Do y'all think Crawford has any blame in this?
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
If he does, I think it's minimal compared to Spence.
See, this is kind of what I think they want him to do. This is kind of what I think what they want him to do. What Holyfield did to get the Tyson fight, a lot of other fighters wouldn't do that. A lot of other fighters. What Devin did to get the Cambo fight, other fighters would not have done that. So they put him in a situation where, and I don't even know that he would have got the fight. That's the other thing. You play their game, they'll fuck you. I don't know why people expect us to believe that Al Heyman is negotiating in good faith. He clearly isn't. Why would he be? Spence is his fighter, not Crawford. But when I look at it, what I see is, okay, let me just pretend that y'all were willing to do this fight. You must want him to be at a handicap, at a disadvantage, and that's the only way you'll let it happen. Kind of like Holyfield had the money wasn't going to be what he wanted. But he figured, look, if I win the first one, I'll make my money from the second one. That was the ideology. And I do feel that, I don't call it blame. I'm just saying that if there's something there that Crawford could have done that he maybe didn't do, they wanted you rusty, bro. They wanted you rusty. That's what they wanted.
Jules, part of it, I think, is because this is my sentiment. Terrence Crawford was being a businessman for himself. The deal that they offered him is a partnership, as he's in business himself. He's a rookie at that. I do believe it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I don't. If I was advising Crawford, I wouldn't have told him to put all that shit out there. I wouldn't have told him. I would have told him to walk away in August. Fuck y'all. You basically
You know what the
disrespected.
other thing is? You forgot why he put all that stuff out there. They were wrapping it around his neck. I mean, like, honestly, I feel vindicated because that's what it's gonna fall apart, and they're gonna wrap it around his neck, and they're gonna say it's his fault. How do I know? The Joshua shit, bro. That's what all of that was, bro. That's what all. How do you offer somebody $50 million with a 24-hour deadline? This is not a cartoon, bro. Like, this is not a fucking cartoon.
That's
you can't do $50 million deals. No, fam. You know damn good and well you got to work that out. And I'm just sitting here looking at it, and I'm looking at people react to it. I'm like, ask yourself a question. If you have the money and you want to do the fight, why don't you just sit down with these people and stop playing games? Shelly Finkel canceled all his meetings that week. I don't understand that. If you want to do a fight, why would you cancel all your meetings? Why are you playing freeze tag in the public if you have these people's phone numbers? You guys don't want to do a fight. You want to play the blame game so you can sell people other shit off the synergy of this fight. And it's the same shit with Crawford and Spence, man. It's just dangling that carrot.
That's all they can do, Jules, because you see how they just all look bitter and envious knowing that, okay, Eddie's guys are getting money over there. Devin Haney and Bob's guys are getting money. Even Oscar's guys are getting money. Everybody's getting money up front.
They get paid Monday. They don't get paid a month later.
Who the hell going to the car wash?
David Evanesian. I'm by the airport. David Evanesian. What did Bob Arum benefit, Jules, by saying David Evanesian got paid up front? What did Bob Arum get from saying that?
Exactly, and he confirmed it because everybody knows he's cool with Frank, and he said, yeah, David getting all his money. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is childish, bro, because they want us to be meticulous in a way that they are not. If you want me to be that meticulous with what I'm saying about Crawford, I can do that. But the question is, can you and will you when it comes to Spence? And I know you haven't, because there's nothing written anywhere that says, yeah, they was going to fight in November. That was all rumors, bro. All rumors. There's nothing written anywhere that says they was going to fight last year. If anything, there's shit written that says the opposite. Where y'all saying, yo, we thought they was going to fight in October. Floyd told y'all goofy motherfuckers in June. That's not true.
What about when Spence saying I'm going to fight in November with or without you?
I think, well, I'll say this. Did he fight in November with or without him?
Nope.
So what are we talking about? If he would have fought, that would have been compelling. If he would have fought. Why didn't you fight, Spence? I know why. You weren't in shape. You were on vacation in October. How could you have been in shape to have a fight in November?
Yeah, who's going to fight Thanksgiving in Dallas with his football team, man? Come on, man. Like
Speaking of Spence, did you guys hear about that thing about him getting bullied by that rapper when he was running from him? That's why he flipped the Ferrari. Some people were
Mo3. That's old news. Van. He had talked about that. That was a rumor that's been going around for a while, because you know the whole issue with Mo3 and Yellow Beezy, and Spence rocks with Yellow Beezy. Rest in peace, Mo3. You know.
Right. I don't know how true it was. I just saw a video of it, so I was just mentioning it. I'm not saying it was true, but
I'll say this much: the whole thing is, and I'm glad that you raised that point, Unbiased, because that would have helped Spence's argument if he would have fought, because then it would have shown they were going to fight, or that they had a fight date set aside. If the show would have went on, nothing went on, bro. Nothing. And look now.
They didn't even have another fight.
Do you feel like that was all posturing?
They had nothing, and look at the second quarter. I'm at a point where I wonder if he really got in an accident or if all of that is staged. Because I'm like, you just keep getting in a fucking accident all the time, bro. Like,
look at that. You're right, Jules. You got that. Has Jermell Charlo started rehab?
Bro, who knows when he coming back
with his hand? Man. Like, come on.
He's retired.
Bro,
Oh wait,
like to me, they should at minimum they should strip him at minimum, or make him a champion in recess, which is not even the same as stripping him. When he's ready and when he comes back, he could challenge for his belt. But for now, what y'all doing don't make no sense. This man has not fought since 2021. How is he not a champion in recess? He been on recess over a year.
That's that PBC method. Ask Gary Russell Jr.
And the WBC method.
how much
Leo
are they
Santa
paying
Cruz.
them?
Bro, I don't know, but I imagine it's not an astronomical amount because that's not economically feasible. I imagine it could be anywhere in between 50 to 100,000. I don't imagine you could give them more than that because that would be crazy. You gonna give him a whole fight purse so he could keep that belt? That
Yeah,
don't
but
make sense.
WBC is stupid. Wouldn't they get more money if they put it on to a fighter that's gonna fight?
No, because if you add it up as a sanctioning fee, let's say that the average purse is $500,000, right? Or 500 between 500,000 and $1 million. They get what, 3% of that? Between 3 and 10? When you look at that, now they don't get that much off the sanctioning fee. They'll probably make a little more if they take some side money. And in the reverse, the way that benefits the promoter is, well, this is less expensive than putting on a show. It's certainly less expensive than doing a whole fight card. So we'll throw you a little side money, a little $100,000, whatever, something like that, and you let them keep that belt.
Yeah, if they can't get the belt on Munguia, they'll just take that. But they're not paying them more than they're not paying them more to where they would force Canelo to take a mandatory.
Yeah, and the sanctioning bodies are non-profit organizations. So it is difficult to put money from the purses, from the percentages that the sanctioning bodies get, to the pockets of the people that work there.
That's true.
It's easier to the the PVC or any other promotional company to give them money.
Yeah.
At the back end. It's easier to justify.
Exactly. Like if you think about it, think about the cost of doing the show, to do the fight, to keep the belt, versus the cost of just giving them a few thousand to keep the belt without doing a show. It's more economically feasible to say give them $50,000 under the table. Like, can you leave Jamal alone for a couple of months? Sure. Oh, here's $50,000. You know what I mean? Or here's $100,000. You know what I mean? And that's cheaper than having to do a whole show and pay a camera crew and opponents, and you got to pay the people that are like, nah, it's cheaper to just give them a couple thousand to chill out. Let me read the super chat. Davis, Spence, Wilder in one night, they won't do 1 million. Tank Garcia do good numbers. Other than that, they can do 1 million pay-per-view. I think Davis and Garcia could do 1 million. But any other fight over there now, like Spence and Crawford, if they had done it, I said that wasn't going to do no million, bro. That shit would be lucky to do 400,000. And that's being real.
Wouldn't the winner of this fight Canelo?
I mean, they should. Personally, what I don't want a Bivol rematch. I want him to either fight Benavidez or Andre, top them loose ends.
Here's your receipt and the lot match. Give your card.
And I don't think Tank and Ryan does 1 million with if Oscar and Floyd ain't at the pressers talking shit and adding to the fucking promotion.
No, I mean, the synergy of the fight, Ryan and all his tweens and his guys that paint their nails and all that crazy shit, they'll support him. And Davis, his fans is going to be hyped too. He's at least good for 225,000 supposedly.
I was saying I was cutting it in the middle, saying he's only good for about 100,000. So,
bro, being real, I don't even know what he's good for, to be real, because
I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt.
I don't trust that 225, but even if I do, that's not a lot, bro. That's really not a lot. 225, that's not a lot. But
if PBC was making any kind of money, the valuation from their owners on the SEC filings wouldn't be at zero. Like Fight Oracle tweeted today.
Exactly. Like, their company is not worth nothing, bro. Like, this is shit that you can look up. The company's not worth nothing, bro. So get the fuck out of here, B. Company not worth nothing. On another note, Gary Russell says that he likes his chances against Isaac Cruz. Who agrees with him?
Cap.
I can kind of see it.
Because Cruz is very reckless, man. A smart boxer who knows what he's doing in that ring can nullify some of that wild shit that he be doing. But you just got to be on point for 12 rounds.
What, at
Now, let me
35,
set the stage. Let me set the stage. Remember that we're talking about real life scenario. Gary is coming off a loss to Mark McMayonnaise, right? And how many months ago was that? How many months ago was the Mark McMahon?
Dude, that was last year. That was last January.
Time, fellas. I can't hear nobody. When was that?
That was literally 1 year ago today.
1 year ago today, right? So, damn, that was a year ago already.
Fuck.
Bro, that
Is
was
it Mark McMahon or is it Mark Miracle Whip?
It's Mark McMayonnaise. And you lost to Mark McMayonnaise, who's a decent-sized puncher. You haven't fought since then. You haven't rebounded since then. You're talking about 126 to 135, not even 126 to 130, 126 to 135. Julio, does he win the fight?
Come on.
Probably not, but he has the right style. The only problem is, as you pointed out, he's small and he never fights. He fights once a year. So, I mean, I don't get the hype with Isaac, but maybe Gary puts up a good fight. He has a good style for it, but probably I don't see him winning. But
Charles, do they have do they have a fight purse that's not disrespectful to Gary to take the fight? Because $1 million's beneath him.
You know the funniest shit is if he takes that fight for $1 million or under $1 million, that'll be a fucking joke. Like, bro, you are just
he does live in the gym though, doesn't he?
Does he?
I don't think so.
See, he has a gym. Listen, he has a gym. It was his father's gym, but that doesn't mean he's training, does it?
Possibly.
And
I don't know.
The other Gary's training now. He's the trainer now, the head trainer.
I've been having dinner with Manny Robles and a couple other trainers frequently. And they're like, just because the fighter lives in the gym doesn't mean he's ready to fight. Like that, like you could be overtrained. Like you could be peaking too high. Like the fact that you're not fighting doesn't mean you're at your best. Just because you're in the gym.
How could you be like? How could you be like you're in a perpetual? If you're in a like you're not fucking Goku, you know. You know he's always in a perpetual state of training. He's always fucking You're not Goku, Gary. You got beat by Mark McMayonnaise. And being real, I think Isaac knocks him out.
Probably, but also that's the problem with like
only
the
way that
PBC
happens
fighters.
if he fights him like immediately next. Otherwise, I don't believe. Because you remember he fought with one damn arm and almost won the fight.
Yeah, but that was at 126 against a guy. Listen, this is the thing. Mark McMayonnaise is much safer than Isaac Big Head Cruz. He is. Isaac Big Head Cruz throws a lot of punches. He gonna come right at you. Whereas Mark McMayonnaise, he throw the 1-2 and that's it. Like it's really just the 1-2. That's it. Other than that, he don't really got a great left hook or a good uppercut or some fly shit. It's really just the jab in the right hand. Yeah. So, and you lost to Mark McMayonnaise. If you fight Isaac Big Head Cruz, he might run over you. He might.
You should fight Chris Colbert instead.
I agree with that. That makes more sense, much more sense. That's a better fight too. Better fight.
Yeah.
That's a good fight for him to get warmed up in a higher weight. You know, plus them coming off that injury. I mean, I want you to continue to, put context on it. He fought Mayonnaise with one arm and almost won the fight.
Well, it was 126, bro.
And here's the thing.
At the same time,
but he hurt his arm in the fight, so you can't use that as an excuse. There's no fighter that goes into a fight 100%.
He hurt his arm in the second round. That's just the reality. It's not an excuse. It's just what happened.
Bro, I'm just telling you that. I get what you're saying that's good, but that's good at 126. At 130, listen, if Gervonta Davis hit this guy and he broke his hand, what the fuck you think gonna happen to Gary?
Well, he almost turned Mayonnaise into Miracle Whip, so I don't know, man.
Is that why you calling him Big Head Cruz? Because he breaking hands with his head?
See, I agree with you, but I just don't buy the Cruz hype. Like, I don't get like people seeing him other than he's a big puncher.
Yeah, he is a big puncher. Like he now there's another fight.
He's just a damn Chilango with a gas tank, man.
Yeah,
that's
he's
it.
got
Sí, pero no diga eso como que los chilangos son pendejos tampoco. A guy with a gas tank is a problem, bro, because he's gonna chase you around the ring the whole fight, and you even got to knock him out. Yeah, like you even got to knock him out, or he gonna knock you out. Now I'm gonna be real. I don't think Gary packs an authoritative enough punch to keep him off. I don't. I
He can't
don't
punch
know.
at 126. He can't
He's
punch
gonna
at
have to rely on
126. bro.
spacing and footwork and timing.
Yeah,
his
he's gonna have to
punches.
outbox him.
Yeah,
I
Gary's
think he can.
Gary's like, look, for what it's worth, I think Gary's annoying because he wanted the world to believe he could beat Crawford. Like, bro, why don't you just stop, bro? The whole 2020, that was the most irritating shit. Like, bro, if Crawford gets his hands on you, bro, he is gonna fuck you. I hope he does get his hands
Sucker
on
punch
you.
Gary, man. That's what he is.
Better still, Gary is a good boxer, but at 126, at 130, nah, son. They too big for you up there, bro. Look at Gary's shoulders, bro. Like he looked like he didn't hit puberty. Like, nah, son, you bugging. Like, nah, not up there, bro. Now they talking about Chris Colbert versus Rolly Romero. Who win that fight?
Ooh.
I might actually give Rolly a chance in that fight.
They're both ass, so it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
Rolly is
That
so
beat him.
Rolly
soft,
sounds
though.
good
It's so
right
funny to
now.
watch.
I think Colbert is gonna beat him in the same way that Marina's beat Rolly, but lose on the scorecards.
You think they'll take it from Colbert to give it to Rolly?
Maybe. I don't know if they see a future in them to even like care that much, but
Yo, neither of them have fought. When was Colbert versus Garcia? What month was that?
February of last year.
It's been a year.
Fuck me, bro.
Bro, but like to your point, that's the problem with these PBC fighters is that they're wasting their best years in the gym.
Wow, you telling me that was almost a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me,
February
bro.
2022.
These guys are fighting way too infrequent, man.
Wasn't Colbert supposed to fight Rayo?
Yeah, I think he was supposed to. I heard something about him.
I thought he was going to be. I heard that he was going to end up fighting Martin. He was trying to fight Martin.
Frank Martin. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. He was talking
Yeah,
shit.
because Spence was talking to him and all that. For a minute, I thought it was going to be on the undercard for the Spence and Crawford fight. That never it was.
So I
Was
guess
Chris
he's not saying at
Colbert going
130.
up to 140?
When was
That's
when
what I'm
was
saying. Like, where is that
when
fight
was
gonna take
Tank?
place?
When was Tank versus Rolly? Then when was that? What month was
That
that?
was May. That was May.
All right. So it
Last
hasn't been
year.
a year. It hasn't been a year. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, but yeah, it's just how are you supposed to build any momentum for these guys on that kind of schedule, man? I don't know, man.
And I think that's why they're always getting hurt too. It's because
Overtraining.
The entire year.
Not fighting enough and overtraining.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Colbert actually lost to Rolly?
Bro.
I mean,
maybe.
I mean, you really can't
Bro.
talk, you can't talk no boxing shit if you lose to Rolly, bro. You supposed to win that. You can't really talk no boxing. Like, you not baby B-Hop anymore. I'll tell you
but
that.
is he coming
These
up
fights are
with
so
140?
ass.
He can punch
Like-
though. That's the only thing I can say is Rolly can punch.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Chris
but-
can. Chris can.
But more importantly, the weight, like, is that going to be at 140 or
that's a 10
130?
pound
Yeah, because like I just want to know, does Rolly realize that he's not a welterweight because he keeps saying that especially shocking me? Like, what's going on?
He's promoting himself, man. He's promoting himself.
Look, you ever listen? You ever been on a block? You ever been on a block and it's like somebody that's like low key retarded, but they
Yeah.
from the block, so you nice to them. It's like
Yeah,
that, like
joke around with them.
Yeah, like you talk to him and say what up and dap him up, and you talk. That's Rolly. Like, yeah, he retarded. Like, bro, like
Dead, yeah.
He's not.
no,
You gotta
he's
jangle
real.
keys
He's
in
like
front of
that
him.
guy. That like that dude on the block that he retarded. You send him to the store. Like, yo, I give you $1. I bet. Go. You know what I
He
mean?
wears a snorkeler to eat scoop.
Yeah,
Right,
man,
listen, you know what I mean? That dude that
Give me a
sit
can
on the
of
stoop with
Tawks, yeah.
you, sit on the stoop with you and rock out. He that guy. Cause I'm like, bro, he really really, bro. Spence. Wow. What are you gonna do? Like, bro, like he's that guy, and I'm like, bro, sorry. She go like,
That's ableist.
Rolly Romero.
I just got yelled at for clowning Rolly, bro.
Rolly will be in the corner and they'll tell him Chris Colbert stole his white helmet and he'll get mad. Like
Yo, she really got mad at me over Rolly, bro. Like she don't know. But listen, man, like you don't have a real disability. You're just stupid. He's just stupid. Like that's all.
Al puts Rolly's artwork up on his fridge.
Yeah, macaroni art.
My God, yo. Oh, y'all are crazy.
Well, look, I
Ivo, we don't
baby
hate Rolly. Ivo's saying we hate Rolly. Ivo, we don't hate Rolly. We just laugh at him because he's entertaining.
He's just an imbecile.
Oh my God,
That's
yo! Oh, I gotta use that.
I wish Ivo would respond to my email.
Oh my
Shit. Let me read the super chat. Jessica Salas. All right, yeah, I read that one already. And yeah, man, like
Hey, who do you
but
think Morel's gonna fight next?
that's a really good question. I say Caleb Truax, bro. I think they're gonna get because he's still one of their fighters. He still is.
Who's Morel with?
PBC, bro. The Cuban guy.
No, he should be fighting Boo Boo, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, look,
Bro,
look.
he didn't want to fight Zach Parker.
I know y'all don't like Boo Boo, but Boo Boo got skills though, man.
No. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you that I want that fight. But if you Boo Boo, you really gonna take that fight?
Why not?
Bro, he wouldn't take Zach Parker.
Bro, he didn't take Yanni Beck. Think about it. You not gonna fight Yanni Beck, which stylistically you actually have an advantage. He could have beat him. He has the right style. You could have beat him.
Wasn't it about the bread though?
You could, as a champion, think, as a champion, right? As a champion, if you go to Bob, I'll fight your boy for M. For 1.5, I'll fight your boy. Remember,
he was willing to pay that much.
Frank was gonna give him an M, bro. Frank was gonna give him an M for Parker. He was gonna get most of that. He fucked that. It's like it's hard for me to believe that you were stepping on eggshells with fucking Yanni Beck and Zach Parker, so you could turn around and fight somebody worse than them. That dude is a fucking animal. That David Morrell. I don't believe it. I don't believe him. I don't believe it. Short of a $2-3 million purse, nah, I don't believe it. I don't think he'll fight that dude.
Hey, Jules, Rory said that Rolly almost got knocked out by a stationary glove.
Is Gary Antoine versus Pendejo happening? Yeah, I did hear he was supposed to be fighting somebody. Who he was supposed to be fighting? Gary Antoine Russell. He's supposed to be having a fight. I heard that I heard he was supposed to be fighting Puello for the WBA. It was a rumor though, it wasn't confirmed, and it wasn't like a boxing scene article. It was just a rumor that he was supposed to be fighting Puello for the WBA. And I think he can beat Puello. I do. I think he can beat that guy. Shit.
Who can beat Puello?
Gary Antoine Russell.
Really?
I think so. On volume.
Hey, is it true that people are really giving Anthony Joshua a hard time?
Yeah.
About his fight.
Bro,
are you kidding me? That's a harder fight than the Hellenius.
Hate AJ for anything.
Bro,
it's lose-lose because if he fought Dempsey McKean, they'd say the same thing. Or if it was Otto Wallin, if it was Otto Wallin, they'd say, "Oh, that's Fury's leftovers."
This is the most hated boxer.
I'm biased. Put it this way, bro.
Yeah, I think
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, let me break it down. If he would have fought Hrgovic, they would have said, "Oh, you only fighting him because Zhang really beat him." If you would have fought Zhang, oh, Zhang is coming off a loss. If you would have fought Dempsey McKean, oh, he's an Australian nobody. If you would have fought Dillian White, oh, you beat him already. If he fight like the only dude I could think of that they wouldn't be able to say nothing is Otto Wallin. Why? You can't say nothing, bro. Fury didn't knock him out. Fury couldn't knock him out.
Look, I don't mind them taking a soft touch after 2 straight losses to the same guy. It's okay. But what I don't like is people insulting my intelligence when I say to them, bro, he needs a bounce back win. And all I get is this a fucking tune-up for Dillian White? No, you fucking dumbass. He needs a win after 2 straight losses. This ain't prep work for future fights.
Relative to some of the tune-ups that a lot of fighters take, I don't think Jermaine Franklin's a tune-up because he can actually fight. Like, he actually has a legitimate inside game that most heavyweights don't have. So
I said this about this fight happening, right? That this is like it goes to show that, you know what, Dillian was supposed to win that fight.
All I'm saying is that if people are expecting Jermaine Franklin to get knocked out in 2 rounds, and they're going to be mistaken, and then that's going to worse because they're going to say, "Oh, Joshua had to go through the gears with Jermaine Franklin."
I don't care what they say. He beat Dillian White, man.
Let me say
that.
Let me say this. In other words, if you find somebody that is saying A, B, C, and D about that fight, don't argue with them. That's a Fury fan. If you're just a boxing fan, a real boxing fan, fam, Wilder just fought his sparring partner. I'm not exaggerating. He fought a dude that Gerald Washington knocked out, that Johan Duhaupas knocked out, and who knocked them out? Wilder knocked them out. And he fought the guy that they knocked out. Now, if that didn't bother you, why should this bother you? This is actually better than that. Jermaine never been knocked out, and he's not old. He's not in his mid-30s or his late 30s. He's not old. He's not an old guy. He just
was a quality opponent, but it's just a little bit lower than the standard he's been fighting for.
Exactly.
And that's okay. He needed a little bit softer touch to move forward. Build his confidence back up.
How much of a problem do you think he's going to give Joshua, though?
Not much.
I think on the inside, I think he actually will.
It'll be a slight problem in the first 5 rounds, but after round 6, it's going to turn.
Let me say this. I don't think he's going to make it to the inside. If he could get inside, I'm with Julio. That's very dangerous. That's a very dangerous game to play.
He's good feet for that.
He has very fast hands on the inside. He's not the biggest puncher, but he does have very fast hands on the inside. But I don't think he's going to make it there. I think that we're going to see a Joshua that steps into his jab and commits to the right hand. I think he gets him out of there inside of 6.
Yeah.
Remember, Julio. Remember this, Julio. Dillian White hurt Jermaine.
But also, he's breaking in a new trainer, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm considering. But I do think that AJ will probably stop him.
I think he's going to stop.
Yeah.
Around 8 or 9. That's what I'm calling.
I say 8 or 9 as well.
I would prefer if it were Otto Valine because it sends more of a message, and you really can't complain about it that, well, if he was good enough for Fury, why wouldn't he be good enough for Joshua on the bounce? He was good enough for Fury. Joshua's coming off 2 L's. If he was good enough for Fury, why wouldn't he be good enough for Joshua? And
I don't say he's ducking him.
And if Joshua stops him, even better, because Fury couldn't stop him. They went 12. You couldn't stop him. It sends the right message. But, I mean, like I said, I heard White is going to fight him. That's what I heard. So,
and I don't think White makes it even past that. I
think White is done. The 18 holes of golf. Back 9, he's on hole 18, in my opinion. On his third shot.
He could,
on a par 4.
He could be, but a lot of motherfuckers been done, and they've been hanging on. Like, if you think about Hellenius, bro, he been done, but he still beat Kovnowski. You feel me? Like, it's still fights out there that maybe you could win, because that dude been done, bro. Like, that dude been finito for many years now. Really, Parker, if we're going to be honest, he done. Because you shouldn't have needed 2 fights with Derek Chisora to win, bro.
Yeah, he's done.
Geet Caballel beat him, and you didn't have to want, Geet beat in 2017. The German dude, Geet Caballel, got good feet, good combinations. He just don't hit that hard. But he beat him, and you didn't have to think about it he won that fight. You needed 2 fights to have a decisive win over Derek Chisora. Then again, so did Dillian, but Dillian beat you, so, yeah, he knocked you down, so, It's like, Parker's done, bro. And look at how he looked this past Saturday, bro. I couldn't even pay attention to that fucking fight.
That shit was boring as shit.
You know what's
shit
crazy?
was boring as shit.
Is that Dillian beat both Joseph Parker and Robert Hellenius years ago. Like, his resume is actually pretty solid.
He has a pretty good resume.
Relative to most heavyweights, yeah.
No, he gets disrespected a lot. He gets disrespected a lot because he doesn't have the prettiest form. But if you look at his resume, Hellenius, Rivas, Chisora, Parker, it's like, that's a good ass resume, bro. Like, fuck Jermaine Franklin. That's a good ass resume, yo.
That's better than Wilder's.
Hey, is Morrell actually going to fight Berlanga, or is that just
that's cap?
Nah, bro. Come on, kill Berlanga, bro.
Who can he fight? Like, who can Berlanga fight?
He's gonna fight Steven Nelson.
Fuck around.
I hope so.
Bro, he gonna fight Journeyman, bro, that we never heard of. That's what
they were talking shit on Twitter. So
like he not gonna fight nobody, bro. Like Steven Nelson, he not gonna fight Steven Nelson. He been ducking him since the Top Rank days. He not gonna fight Steven Nelson, bro.
He said come on the Black Prime. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that I feel like his manager is Keith Connolly, and I feel like Keith Connolly is gonna take him over to Matchroom. That's what I think.
For who? Pacheco?
I mean, if Eddie is smart, I would trick Edgar. I would get him the easiest of the easy fights, build his confidence, and then just have Pacheco wax his motherfucking ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pacheco might beat his ass. for
Pacheco
real.
would beat his ass.
Might beat his ass.
Pacheco would beat his ass. Oh no, Emma Williams. You can give Emma
Hey,
Williams.
Westside says Berlanga versus a Bobby.
Word. That's not no. Berlanga versus Nico Ali Walsh.
Isn't he
There you go.
54 though?
No, he's 30. He's 30. No,
I thought he was
he's
a
middleweight.
54
He's middleweight.
pounder. I thought
He's
he was
middleweight.
light middleweight.
No. Abibi is a 54 pounder. No, Abibi is a middleweight. God, he sucks, bro.
Yeah, Alexis also said that he turned down a fight with Jesse Hart.
Who turned down a fight with Jesse Hart?
Berlanga.
Oh yeah,
That's why he left the top rank.
Yeah, he did. That's facts. That's facts. He turned down a fight with Jesse Hart. He turned down a fight with Christian Mabili. I don't know if they tried. I don't know if they tried to make Rosado. I think they did, but I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he ducked him too, bro. Because Rosado will fuck around and beat him, bro. Like,
Bro, see, Gabe Rosado, Edgar Berlanga would be the perfect fight.
Oh yeah,
Perfect ass test. And I honestly, if Rosado wins that, wouldn't be surprised.
bro. That's the battle with the Puerto Rican haircuts.
Berlanga's going to be fighting YouTubers next, as sucking as he is right now, man.
Bro, he just needs to fucking. I don't know, bro. Because who does he beat, bro? Out of everybody I could think of at 168 that has any kind of a profile, whether it's Gongora or Lerone Richards or Mabili, just anybody you name, I don't think he could beat Caleb Truex. I don't think he could beat Caleb Truex. Not looking the way you look with Romer Angulo, bro. I don't think he could beat that.
Have you seen that guy, William Skull?
Nah, I haven't seen him. German? Is that the German guy?
He's Cuban, but I think he fights out of Argentina or some shit. He's like a pure boxer with no power, but I don't know. Maybe that'd be a good fight.
I fucking hate those guys, bro.
Oh, great.
Fucking hate those. He's IBF mandatory, right? Or close to becoming IBF mandatory? Yeah. I hate those.
Those are boring as shit, yo.
Bro, a Cuban
Frankie,
pure boxer?
Is he on Frankie Sanchez level?
Cuban pure boxer, like no power.
He's like designed. You know, he's designed to get knocked out.
Yo, they can't find Frankie a fight.
Frankie Sanchez has power. He has.
Yeah, no, I just mean on a level of boredom. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Level.
Well, he has the power to put me to sleep. Shit.
Hold on. What about Edgar versus Shane Mosley Jr.?
Nah, Shayna beat him. No, Shayna beat him, bro.
Damn.
But he's at 154.
Bro, he can't look. Melikuziev would stop him to the body. There's nobody I could think of that I would pick him to beat. No one.
Anthony Durrell?
Nah, not even.
God damn, yo.
Well, if you doubt me, just think about it in your mind. 500 of your dollars on Edgar Berlanga to win a fight.
But he's been knocked out before. That's just you don't think he can knock him out just like I did?
Anthony Durrell wakes up knocked out. Like, there's no way that Edgar can't do something there.
Yo, I'm tired of Durrell, bro. For real, I don't know what the fuck the big deal was with him, bro.
Bro, Durrell was never that dude, B. He was just a dude that was around. He was never that dude. But really,
just a PBC make harder.
I mean, like, really, Edgar sucks, bro. Like, it's hard to find a fighter that sucks that much. But if you did, it would be Edgar. It would be Edgar. That dude sucks, bro.
Hey, what about Chavez Jr.?
You guys think he could beat Chavez?
Possibly.
Today's Chavez.
Yeah.
I think so.
Chill, son. Fuck out of here. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna watch him box again. So there's that.
I know, right?
Who the fuck gonna sit through another Edgar Berlanga fight, bro? Them 1 a.m. nights at the Hulu Theater. All these Puerto Ricans looking sleepy. Mad tired Puerto Ricans in the audience, like Kodo done left. Like,
that's the dude where Rolly be sitting in the audience making fun of his ass and shit.
Fucking Kodo on the 2 train, been done left the shit already. Like, I get out of it. I know the middleway to you. You know what I mean? Like, got the
Fat Joe's halfway on his way to his fucking mansion and shit.
On the way to Yankee Stadium and shit on 161st. Like, no, I know the midway to Jumas. I know what's better like that. That was like fucked up though that he left because it was nothing but Puerto Rocks in there, bro. For the Puerto Rican main event, and Cotto just knew like, no, I'm not.
Yo, he
sitting.
came to see Xander and said, "All right,
Yep.
that's about it."
Yeah, because everybody in their mama knew who's a real main event is Sanders.
Berlanga came out and he said, "Exit stage right," and split.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. What a far fall from grace for him though the last 3 years, because at 2020 I would say he reached the height of his popularity. That's when he was really buzzing, 2020. And all the bullshit started, I would say, on the undercard of Wilder versus Fury, the Coceres fight.
Yeah,
that's when it all went downhill, bro.
When he bit dude.
Bro, he's like been through like 3 trainers already.
Yeah.
He was with Mickey Bay. No, he was with what's his face? Who
Andre
trained
Rosier.
Bro, they were there at the same time.
And then he went to some Puerto Rican dude, and now I guess he's back.
That's who he would now. That's who he would now.
Wow.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican
I
dude.
think his last fight, he had like a team of trainers, didn't he?
No, he had the Puerto Rican dude in the last fight. The fight before that, I think he had Andre Rosier and K. Karoma, both in the corner, and he's still.
But in between, then Mickey Bay said that he was working with him. I guess that fell apart.
Man, listen.
They probably
You could have had the ghost of Eddie Fudge, couldn't fix him.
They probably felt he was a lost cause and walked off, man. So
I'm saying, what the fuck can they do, bro? Like, he looking how he looking. Like that's why I say I don't pick nobody. I don't pick him to beat nobody, bro. I think everybody beats his ass. 168. I would pick Nico Ali Walsh to beat him.
Hamza Shiraz would kill him, bro.
Shiraz. That's a powerful fucking name, bro. I wish I had a name like Hamza. That just sounds like you be fighting people. Just sound like you be fighting people. Like
Hasbullah Shiraz. He's a great little middleweight.
Yo, dog, Hasbullah is a tough name. You would never think that he is the way he is if you see his name, Hasbullah.
That sounds like some exoteric martial art from another country or something.
Hasbullah. Like some shit right before you about to get it on. Hasbullah. End credits. Shit, man. But yeah, yo, we got Better B versus Yard this weekend. Anybody change their mind?
Nope. Nope.
I'm good. Yard's lack of fundamentals, like I don't think he'll ever be a world champion just because he lacks fundamentals so badly.
He gonna get knocked out by a jab again.
It's rare that Julio don't give a guy the benefit of the doubt. It's rare that you don't give a guy the benefit of the doubt. That shit means something.
Bro, Buatsi would beat Yard.
Yeah, I think he would beat Yard.
Craig Richards would beat Yard.
I think he would knock out Yard. Buatsi.
What do you make of him? Because like when he first came out, like when he first started having a buzz, I was like, man, this guy could be something at 175. But like, I don't know.
Buatsi?
Yeah, Buatsi. It's just like it just seems like he stopped fighting regularly, and then ever since then, it's just been downhill.
I would say he was a good amateur, but this is what separates the amateurs from the pros. And what I see in him is you don't throw a lot because you'll probably gas out. I don't like how he reacts to punches that touch him. So I actually think he's chinny. And I think he hit his ceiling. I don't really think he's gonna get better. To be real, which like I don't see you doing anything. The Craig Richards fight, if you really were or had the potential to be a world-class fighter, the Craig Richards fight would have been a little easier. That was a very tight fight, and it was evenly fought. And at no point in that fight were you head and shoulders above him. Those world-class guys, that's how they look in those fights. They're head and shoulders above the other guy, and you can see that. You know what I mean? With Buatsi, you didn't look great with Bolotnik. You didn't. You didn't look great with Richards. So and I don't really think, I don't want to knock Virgil, but I'm not high on him as a trainer. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So, I kind of feel like he hit a ceiling and he's a loss waiting to happen. Because who does he beat? Would you pick him to beat Callum Smith? I wouldn't.
Nah, not right now. Not ever. I don't think. He's 29 now, so like how much time can we give this guy?
Well, that's the other thing. He's no spring chicken, so it's not even like he has all the time in the world to develop. And you're in a division, that there's some decent guys there. Like, look, he can probably knock out a Matthew Bauderleek. He'll probably beat a guy like that. But the Pascal fight, and I'm being real, I'm not sure that he would have beat Pascal. I'm not sure.
What about Zerto?
Do you think he would beat Zerto?
Nah, I think it would grind the dust.
I think Zerto would grind him down and take him out. The volume. This is what I'm saying. I don't see a lot of guys that I think he beats except for Anthony Yard.
Who in the hell is Zerto gonna fight, man?
He should fight Pascal, bro.
We should move his ass up to a cruiser.
They get knocked out up there, bro. You heard Badu Jack about to fight Lunga?
Really?
What? That's a nap waiting to happen.
Badu Jack gonna get knocked out, bro. He was doing okay in his cruiserweight campaign. I watched a few of his cruiserweight fights. I think it was the last one. He didn't look. He got the guy out, but he didn't look good. And you know, Lunga could punch, man. Say what you want, but Lunga could punch. Yeah. So
Makabuti gonna knock him out.
When is that for? I think that's for the undercard of Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. I think they said it is. It's supposed to go down in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or somewhere over there. But it's a nice fight, though. It is a nice fight. Like
yeah, but it's like it's already cold product now, and I hear you already you're already interested in Paul versus Soul Poppy.
I like that, man. That's a good fight, man.
Well, isn't he fighting Tommy Fury next?
He is.
Supposedly, he should have been fighting him, but Tommy kept dropping the fucking ball.
Tyson was saying if Tommy doesn't knock him out, he's going to leave Tommy in Saudi Arabia.
He's fucking better, bro. Like, nah.
Exactly.
I'm one of the 2 people on earth that actually thinks Tommy's going to win.
You think he's going to win?
Yeah.
How?
Bro, like, I think that we judge Tommy harsher than Jake because Tommy's supposed to be the real boxer.
But Tommy's shit, bro.
Yeah, that's true, but I think the perception is off because fundamental, in terms of fundamental boxing skills, bro, Jake Paul is garbage. Like you see it with those jab, he throws his head down, he leads with his head. His footwork is terrible. Like I think Tommy should be able to fucking get up a fucking 10-round UD.
Bro, I seen Tommy in that Anthony Taylor fight, bro. I was embarrassed.
He's it's like this. If Tommy Fury throws a jab and a hook, he's already tired.
Yo, have you ever actually sat through a Tommy Fury fight? Who here has? I have.
I sat through 2 and I was done.
He looks slow as shit, bro.
He's ass.
He's ass.
He's ass, bro. Yo, him and Rolly would be a competitive match.
No, they make Rolly. No, wait a minute. They make Rolly look good because at least Rolly go for it, bro. Tommy is just, bro. It's like, yo, why are you boxing, bro? Just
go be a model, bro.
Go get out of here, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I don't.
Yeah, go work at Macy's or sell perfume.
Go launder money for Kinahan.
Hey, Jules, the homie Ricky mentioned about this ProBox app. Do you know anything about it? It said
oh yeah, I do. It's about $2 a month. They've put on some decent fights, believe it or not. Pascal versus Menfeng Long was one of the fights, and it was supposed to be a really good fight. I missed it, but everybody told me about it. Like, yeah, it was a really good fight. And it's Paulie Malignaggi, Roy Jones, and Antonio Tarver that they commentate. But it's supposed to be good value for money, believe it or not. ProBox. I advise you subscribe to it if you just want some impromptu boxing. Every single card they've put on, I heard it was fun to watch. Every single card.
Yeah. PBC's headed there soon.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
And it's only $2 a month. It's not a lot. It's only $2 a month. Like that's less than everything, bro. Less than everything.
And Ricky, thanks for bringing it up and mentioning that, man.
Yeah. I heard nothing but good things ever since they came, which is rare. But I heard nothing but good things about them. That it's actually a good app. They put on good fights. The WBO Bomba, ¿cómo se llama este tipo, Julio? Bomba, the WBO champ from the lower weights.
The one. What is his nationality?
Puerto Rican kid. Bomba Gonzalez, I think it is. He's WBO champion at flyweight.
Yeah, Jonathan Gonzalez, I think.
Jonathan Gonzalez. He had a fight there. I heard a lot about it. Heard it was a good fight. You know what I mean? So it's about
he's southpaw, right?
Yeah.
That's him.
Sophia says Tommy was an adopted Fury.
Bro, I'm just telling you.
He don't look like none of them. That is true.
Listen, bro, like I've seen his fights and I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, why are you boxing, bro? For what? You suck. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but that's what my brain is saying. Like, wow, he sucks. So why you doing this, bro? I guess he want that get back with Jake because this has actually been going on between him and Jake for a while now, bro. Like this has been going on, I think, since 2021.
Oh, it's been going on too long between them, man. It's like it's over marinated at this
point. It is, and now it's like he has to get that back because he's been disgraced. Because remember, both times that they were supposed to fight, it was bullshit on his end. It was always on Tommy's end. It was never on Jake's end. It was always on Tommy's end. So it's like
they're over-marinating celebrity fights now. That's crazy.
I was just about to say that.
Julio, you really think he's gonna win though?
Yeah, I really do. Cause like, bro, you got to think about it. Like Jake looks good against guys with 0-0 boxing records, and against men who are like in their 40s. Like, I think that
Silva.
Yeah, but Anderson Silva's not he's not a fundamental boxer. His best win is against what? Fucking post rehab Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who's never good anyway.
Tommy,
but Tommy's has different. He offers different
opponents. That's why I was
because he's younger.
You know what? Tommy doesn't look solid at all, dude. He looks like he
I don't disagree. I just think that Jake doesn't either. I don't get this where people are saying that Jake has this monster right hand. Like, bro, he closes his eyes to throw.
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did to Ben Askren?
Bro, do you see how Ben Askren boxes though?
Like that, I was being sarcastic, bro.
Oh.
I knew it was too dry because he did knock him out. But it's like, bro, how you gonna use Ben Askren as an example for fucking Fredo Fury? But he sucks that bad.
Fredo Fury is crazy.
He sucks, bro. Like, watch that fight that he had with that redheaded dude. That dude, he sucks, bro. Like, for real. Like, yo, you never gonna win a belt. You could beat Jake 10 times. You never gonna win a belt.
Yeah.
Fredo Fury, I better see a Godfather edit in this bitch.
Fury, bro. Like, for real. Like he just like Steve said. Because he shout out to Steve Kim, the great Steve Kim. He coined that, and I couldn't have thought of anything better myself. They're like, yeah, yo, you the Fredo Corleone of this shit, bro. Like, at least Huey knocked out Sam Sexton and Christian Hammer. Bro, like, you ain't gonna make it that far, Tommy. Shit. Motherfucking Jack says, are you interested in Canelo versus Makabu? I would watch it. It's still a good fight, man. Canelo versus a cruiserweight is still a dangerous fight because Canelo is not a cruiserweight. Size matters. He's not a cruiserweight.
Man, that's ridiculous, bro. He can't fight up there.
Yeah, but so I would watch it. Will says Berlanga is better than Tommy, and is that true? Is that true?
Yes, Berlanga is better than Tommy.
Wow, bro. I didn't think it was possible to imagine somebody sucking worse than Edgar, but that might be true.
Hey, I got a question for all you guys. Who do you guys think is gonna be the one to actually beat Spence once it happens? Because everybody's not.
You
think?
Could be Fundora. The thing is, Spence at his best is in the pocket, right? At his best, he's in the pocket. There's a caveat that we don't know if these guys are going to start throwing all these fights moving forward, and I don't care who doesn't like it. A part of me feels like Ugas threw that fight, but maybe I'm wrong. In any event, if these are real fights, there's a genuine threat in Sebastian Fundora because you like to fight in the pocket, and so does he. But he's a lot bigger than you are, and I understand, yada, yada, yada. But the way this guy reacts when he gets hit, it just doesn't look good, bro. Spence, the way he reacts when he does get hit, when something gets through, he just doesn't look good. And I feel like Sebastian Fundora could be a banana skin. Could be. So,
I think Castaño could be that as well.
Oh, yeah. Castaño,
Castaño will fold him.
Castaño, he's a pressure guy, bro. Tough Argentine. Look how much Charlo had to hit that guy just to get him out. He had to hit him with everything he had to finally get him out of his. I don't think they would make Spencer versus Castaño, though. That's too risky. It's way too risky.
Castaño said he stopped him in the amateurs.
I believe that.
Eventually somebody's going to beat Fundora, too. I wonder, if it's not Spence, I wonder who it will be.
Fundora losing won't be surprising because Look, Lubin knocked him down, bro. Yeah, everybody just remembers how the fight ended, but nobody seems to remember that. He got dropped in that fight.
Yeah, and it wasn't a flash knockdown. Fundora was short for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this fight will ever happen, but if Xander ever has to fight Fundora, I think he would absolutely fucking destroy him.
Xander destroys a lot of guys. My honest opinion, I'll tell you what, I really like Tim Tszyu. I really do. But Xander would fuck him up.
Not now.
Man. He'd fuck him up and give him a boxing lesson.
I'm very upset.
Yo, I'm biased. I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Who's the worst boxer? Tommy Fury or Edgar Berlanga?
Oh, come on, bro.
Who's the worst boxer?
Yeah, who sucks more? Who sucks more out of those two? Who sucks more?
You're horrible for this question, but I'm gonna go. I'm probably gonna go Tommy Fury.
Bung.
Wow. Yeah, I don't disagree.
I can't. But like, he's that bad. Like, you watch him, and there's
how many professional quote unquote. No, I got quote unquote. How many professional fights has Tommy Fury had?
He got like 7, right? Like 7 fights.
And who is he fought? I mean, listen, if you compare who he's fought compared to the Berlanga then fought world champions. If you want to do a comparison like that.
All right, or world title challenge. All right, that is fair. That look, Berlanga sucks, but he has fought better people than Tommy Fury by far.
Literally, if you go by, if you compare their resumes, if we were comparing them, which I don't know why we're doing this, but I'm going to play along here. It's literally like Berlanga's competition would be basically almost considered world championship caliber if you're comparing it to who Tommy Fury didn't fight.
So here's the next question: is Jake Paul going to beat this man? Or is this man going to beat Jake Paul?
Jake Paul's going to knock him out.
Woo!
Look at the super chat.
That's a top photo finish. Needs a booth to review. Listen, man. It's a fair point that Edgar, like, if you look at who Edgar's been fighting, Steve Rose actually isn't a bad fighter, though, if we're going to be honest. He's not a bad fighter. Golovkin knocked him out, Golovkin knocked him out. But he's actually not a bad fighter. He's decent for a man his age. He takes care of himself. He made Berlanga look very human, though. He did make him look very human. Tommy is just like, bruh, Steve will probably outbox Tommy Fury, bro. Steve Rose will probably outbox him, bro. So I don't know, man. That dude fucking.
I got a new nickname for Fundora, though. From now on, I'm gonna call him the Bionic Pipe Cleaner.
Yeah, man.
He's so skinny, man. He looks like a pipe cleaner, man. He's so, it's like he looks like you could pick your teeth with him, man. I swear.
No, I mean honestly, like he looks like that stick bug that you see on the trees. That
it's called a walking stick.
Yeah, like he looked like that shit, bro. But he
looks like the cinnamon from the Apple Jacks.
Hey, does anybody disagree with me with Jake Paul knocking out Tommy Fury?
Julio does.
Me, but bro, I'm not gonna debate that, bro. Like, come on, now. It's Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury.
Why don't you wait a goddamn minute? This is a real hot topic right here, bro. Wow. Shit,
bro. Like, if someone picks Jake Paul to knock out Tommy Fury, I'm cool. Like,
look. Just give me a breakdown of the fight. Break. Get a breakdown of the fight, bro. What the fuck?
Yo, Jules, you stupid. I'm upset because I missed Salt Poppy conversation. That's what I'm upset about.
Nah, listen, I'll pick Salt Poppy to beat both they ass. That kid can fight, man. On the inside, he got short punches and shit, and he fat, so he got power in him shits. Salt Poppy, like, I'm not lying.
What weight is he though?
I would pay pay-per-view for Salt Poppy versus Jake Paul. I'm not even kidding. I would pay.
Salt Poppy though.
Super heavy.
He's super heavy.
No, he's not.
He's super heavy. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know what his actual weight is, but yeah, he has some really clean counters too.
Kid's a good fighter, man.
Where'd they find him at? Like a tough man contest or something?
No, he was a social media influencer, and he always had a like in the boxing, and then that was part of his weight loss journey as well. It was part of the boxing, was part of his weight loss journey, and it turned into him boxing.
No, but he could really fight though, like it's not even like being nice to him or nothing. Like he has real ability though, like for real. So I would pick
them other fools are gonna stay away from him.
Yeah, they gonna duck Salt Poppy, bro. They don't want no problem.
That's funny. They gonna duck Salt Poppy.
They are. For real, B. They gonna duck my guy, man. They running out of people to put in there with Salt Poppy, man. They don't want no problems, man. Fucking Eddie Hearn says he wants them to go pro. He said that. He wants Salt Poppy to go pro.
Pushing it.
I mean, you know. You could get him because the thing with him is you could actually promote him with the Butterbean angle in the sense that you can put him in real fights, but keep him in there with club fighters. The goal with him is not to win a world title. That's not the goal. The goal is just as an attraction you can do him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're not really trying to get him to no fucking heavyweight title. You want to get the kid killed? Come on now.
Yeah, use the Tank Davis model. Just put him in there with anybody.
We just get him a WBA corner store belt. WBA. WBA.
Give him a Reggie belt with extra seeds in it.
WBA hot pocket belt.
Kelvin says he's the Manny Pacquiao of YouTube boxing.
Nobody's like I said, I'm not being generous enough. Like I seen him. That kid can fight, man. That kid fight good, man. Fight real good. But shit,
maybe it won't hurt him to go pro, man.
Yo, can I ask a quick off-topic question?
Good.
So we were talking about 154 earlier. I was gonna ask you about Israel Madrimov. Like, whatever happened to him?
Remember, bro, the fucking Sorrow fight got scored a no contest, I think it was again, because of a clash of heads. So I'm thinking if Matchroom didn't drop him, and there's a possibility that they did, they're going to do a third fight. It has to be because that fight that him and Michael Sorrow was supposed to be having, the two fights, both of those fights were supposed to decide the WBA mandatory. Both of those fights. So either the WBA is going to order it again and they're going to run it back and hopefully there will be an outcome this time. Or maybe Matchroom dropped him and said, look, we really can't do nothing else with you, bro. Because really, what they going to do? Like, what can they do with him?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
do you even rate his chances against any top super welterweights?
He could probably beat Kurbanov. He could beat Kurbanov. I think he can beat Kurbanov. I'm not convinced he beats Tim Tszyu. He's too wild.
Yeah, I remember when he first turned pro, everyone's like, "Yeah, he's the next Triple G" and all this other shit, and like
he do be looking like Triple G. Like if you squint, he looked like Triple G. If you squint, like
he's squinting G.
Yeah. Like he looked like nearsighted Triple G.
Bad
vision G.
What other good fights do we got coming up on the horizon, man?
Man, that's the thing. Like we do have a lot, but they're all in April, bro. All of them are really after April.
February has good fights.
What's in February?
The lady fights at MSG and then Lara.
Oh yeah, but like I know who's got like Amanda gonna fuck her up, bro. You crazy? She gonna fuck her up. Like I know that. That is gonna be a good fight though, but I think Amanda's gonna fuck her up. That's why I'm settled on that.
She does all the same things that Erica Cruz does a lot better.
When is Marin Leonardo to it? When is that happening?
That's the thing that hasn't been decided. That was supposed to be on an undercard of Taylor versus Catterall. Now they got to move it to something, and it was going to be on a boxer show, which is weird. Like not a top rank show, a boxer show.
Yeah, so I assumed it was going to be Fury Usyk or like the Adam whatever fucking the next Conlon fight.
Maybe it'll be the. Why the fuck would you have an American girl fighting a Greek girl in Scotland?
Yeah.
It's like,
bro, so do you think the WBO is like? Do you think Top Rank and WBO are pulling on some fuckery with what they did to?
No, I in the video I did. That's what I think. Somebody, it's not my idea. Somebody left a comment for me in the video I did about what the WBO said about the Baumgartner versus Mekhaled. And when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That they don't want her to become super champion because if she does, then Michaela can't become the mandatory. So they're keeping it open. They're keeping it open so that if Michaela beats Christina, She could be the mandatory. That's what it is. That's exactly what it
To me,
is.
that proves everything that Baumgartner was saying about Michaela having a more privileged career, because she doesn't deserve a fucking Katie Taylor fight. Like, you're running a play, fighting someone off a pregnancy layoff. Like, that's what I see it as.
Exactly. Like, it's a good fight. It is a good fight, but it's like, yo, dog, for real. That woman done fought once in 3 years, bro. But it is a good fight, though. At the same, I can't lie. I'm excited about it. But she should win. She should win.
Hey, Jules,
Okay, guys.
For you, Ebony Bridges. I know she had surgeries. One, is she considered a champion in recess at this point because of that recovery?
No, because her mandatory fight was only like a few weeks ago. I know it feels longer, but that was only a few weeks ago that she fought.
When is she coming back?
Probably in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute.
She's going to come back in the third quarter, I think. Take a tune-up, and then she'll fight the winner of Nina Hughes versus Shannon Courtenay. Who that's going to be, I'll be real. I think it's going to be Shannon. Yeah. I don't got nothing against Nina, but
don't they need to fight each other again anyway?
No, that's what I'm saying, that when they do it, what they want to do is they want it to be a unification. So they signed that girl that beat Jamie Mitchell, who beat Shannon Courtenay. They signed Jamie Mitchell. Then Jamie Mitchell just lost her belt to Nina Hughes. So now what they're going to do is Nina Hughes, Shannon Courtenay for the BA. Whoever wins, fights Ebony. That's what they're doing. And it's funny you mention it, because we was talking about that shit yesterday in the spaces, that Ebony going to need to change something to beat Shannon, because Shannon, she has all the right shit. To beat her, she has all the right shit. She moves around, her punches are straight. She doesn't stay in one spot. So you can't really get in the pocket with her the way you did with old girl Shannon O'Connell. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult, but we'll see. You know what I mean?
Did you see Hughes versus Mitchell? Because I'm really high on Jamie Mitchell. Like, I thought it was gonna be her and Ebony as like the last two in that division to make a big fight.
My God, they not the best in show, man. That girl from look, for real, it's crazy how boxing is, that you can have two fighters that are that good. Old girl from Mexico is real good. I don't say that shit for no reason. That girl is good, man. The girl that I seen her fight this little Mexican girl named Mayeli Flores. That girl, like, listen, I'm not exaggerating. That girl probably beat Shannon Courtenay ass. And Ebony Bridges, because they're both pressure fighters, that would be a very, very, very hard fight. Old girl from Mexico, Yulihan Luna, she just boxed her socks off, yo. Box her sock, left hook, bang, put her on the deck. She's really good.
Who you do favor in the rematch, Cornet or Bridges?
Until
I think Bridges is more seasoned now. Let's not forget.
Posiblemente, pero es que sin embargo, Shannon's not going to stand in one spot. Y ese lío. She's not going to stand in one spot to just trade punches with you. She's going to move. And so long as she's moving, you don't get to fight your fight. So long as she's moving.
Wasn't her leg hurt in the first fight?
Yeah, no. That was in the first. That was in a Jamie Mitchell fight. She had like a knee brace or some shit. So.
Yep, because we saw the first fight. Because Shannon Cornet and Emily Bridges fought once, and Cornet won. But I thought that it was close. Cornet can punch actually, but it was really close. And I think Bridges has. I don't think I cannot say he's the better fighter, but he has fought the better people for by far, so far. Because Cornet has
more experience since then.
Yeah, because remember, Shannon lost to the redhead. She's supposed to win that fight. Lost to the redhead. Everybody forgot in the pandemic she lost to the redhead. The fight with where Ebony wasn't one-sided. That was close, and that was what, 4 fights ago. So Ebony's got a shot. It's just that if Shannon has 2 legs under her, she's gonna be hard to catch.
Yeah, but real quick, did Shannon wait? Did Rachel Ball retired or something? What was the last time with her?
Well, she caught long COVID, is the story.
Oh,
she had persistent effects that were affecting her stamina from the long COVID. That's
boy.
Yeah, like
that'll do it.
Like, it's fucked up because she was on the door of being a champion. Like, she was there, yo. Shit is fucked up out here, B. Westside said, what would be y'all's ring walk song if you were fighting in the main event? Mine would be La Raza by Kid Frost. I don't know, man. A ring
I know what
walk?
mine would be. I'd come out the Cream by Wu-Tang Clan, man.
I'll come out Man Down 50 Cent.
Let me think. What would be mine? I think Kingdom Come would be mine. Either Kingdom Come or The Takeover.
I would pick
If you come out
Beware
with
by
Kingdom
Big
Come,
Pun
I'm
and
gonna
Fat
get
Joe.
knocked out.
What's wrong with Kingdom Come?
You come out with that, you get knocked out.
Nah, son. Nah, that's a good ass. Kingdom Come is a good ring. I will be king of New York, New York. Only NYC hip hop savior. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I'll do shook ones.
If I was a
that.
Ooh, that's
badass
a
and
good one.
I had all kinds of power and shit and high skill, I'd come out to like LL Cool James Mama.
No, matter of fact, what I look like nah. Matter of fact, if I was gonna have a ring walk song, it would be Queen, bruh. I am immortal. Yeah, the shit from Hollander, bro. I'll come out to that shit, bro.
I'll do Bad, Michael Jackson.
Nah,
Win the crowd over.
I come out on Macarena.
Oh, man.
Yo, that was that shit for a little bit, yo. That was that shit, bro. That was that shit. But yeah, I'll come out the Queen, bro. I'll come out the Flash Gordon. Who remember Flash Gordon?
Flash. Oh, I remember that.
Gordon. Yeah.
That was that shit, bro.
No, I definitely would come out with the Man. I just love the beat. I come out Man Down 50 Cent though. That would be my joint to come out too.
Because you know what this shit is? It's like you need something that you could hear it over the crowd. Something that's not too lyrical and you can hear it over the crowd. And I'm like, nah, you need guitar riffs then. You need like a rock song. So I'll go with Queen, bro. I'll come out the Queen. Or matter of fact, I'll come out the Bon Jovi. Tommy used to work on the docks. Come out to that
Living
shit.
on a Prayer? Okay.
Yeah, Living on a Prayer, bro.
Actually,
you on your Fury shit right now.
I'm on my Fury shit.
Another one I would consider coming out to would be Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect, man. Shit. Or Journey. Any way you want it, that's the way.
Oh, you'd win over the crowd. You'd win over the crowd with that one.
One of my favorite wrestling tag teams, the Road Warriors, used to come out to Iron Man by Black Sabbath, man.
Right.
Shit, man.
You know what'll really get inside a fighter's skin if you come out to like We Are the Champions of the World. I already won this shit.
Motherfucker had a belt. You coming out, We Are the Champions. Like, bro, what the fuck wrong with him?
This would be a hell of a ring walk if Crawford ever fought Spence, right? He come out on Ralph Tresvell's sensitivity for Spence.
Nah, for that fight, he should come out to the ether. You know, Crawford, he should come out to the ether. Like, you about to ether this motherfucker. Damn, that's sad.
Here's one that will really fucking trigger people. Buju Banton, Boom Bye Bye.
I never heard of it.
It's a controversial song. It's about blasting, homos.
You took my Chi Man?
Damn.
Buju Banton, Boom Bye Bye. You've heard it before.
Say that again.
You've heard it before. Boom Bye Bye by Buju Banton.
Julio, say that again.
I was gonna say Tank should walk out with that against Ryan.
Fuck, I just had a song in my head I would come out to, man. What would I come out to? Fuck, I just had a song in my head I would come out to, bro. Fuck! Getting old. Had a brain fart.
Come out the Tootsie Roll.
I'm trying to think. It was a dumb song that I would come out to. It's a dumb song. Like, how the fuck did that just leave my brain?
Was it Vanilla Ice Baby? What was something like that?
No, I would come out to Chocolate Rain. Chocolate Rain. Like, what the fuck is this? Y'all know about the Chocolate Rain.
No.
You never heard Chocolate Rain? You never heard Chocolate Rain?
I probably have in my brain is not functioning right now. I'm old. I'm old too, okay?
I'll come out to Chocolate Rain, bro. Motherfuckers really not gonna know what that
I know Candy Rain.
Candy.
Now Purple Rain.
You can't come out the Purple Rain, bro.
You get sued by the Prince estate. They'll take half your purse.
You know what?
If I was gonna come out to a Prince, if I was gonna come out to a Prince song, it would be Erotic City. If I was gonna come out to a Prince song,
You know what else might be cool to come out to, but I forget the group who does it though. Is Lunatic Fringe from Vision Quest. Remember that movie Vision Quest?
What's the song? I go.
I can't like do it, man. But it's called Lunatic Fringe. Hold on, let me look it up. I'll tell you. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'll fucking come out to the Pokemon thing. I want to prove that I'm the best.
Yeah, that's Rolly's walkout song.
Boom, boom, boom.
It's by, you know what? It's by Red Rider.
Come out to the Pokemon song, bro. Pokemon, gotta catch up if I so true.
No, you know what? Right, hey, Ryan Garcia can come out to Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim.
He's coming out to Material Girl by Madonna.
Wow. You know what? I was gonna say Viva La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin, but you know,
why did I imagine? Why imagine Ryan with them long ass pink gloves that she had? The gloves that come on. And we are living.
Hey, everybody, does anybody have Ryan beating Tank?
Right.
If he were more of a consummate professional, I could say confidently that he does have a way, but he's too inconsistent. Like he is, like in general, like
yeah,
you're not.
I think Tank's way more consistent than him, even though he's not.
Which is saying a lot because it's like you're like we have our things that we say about Tank, but the truth is he is further along than Ryan. He is a more experienced fighter than Ryan. He has fought better fighters than Ryan has. Yep. Sort of.
See, sort of. That's what makes me
there's
think
no
Ryan
sort of. He has. Come on.
I mean, he has. You know what this shit is? Put it this way, unbiased. Would you pick Hector Garcia to beat Ryan?
No.
Would you pick Leo?
Depends.
At 135, bro. Because
like when we look at it,
Ryan can't go to 30.
At
So
135, Luke Campbell's a better win than anyone Tank has fought at 135.
Would you pick Mario Barrios to beat Ryan?
No.
I want to, but I can't.
All right. Would you pick Rolly Romario to beat Ryan?
Romario.
Roly Poly?
Rolly
Omarion.
Would you pick
Rolly Romero
There's
Santos?
nobody to Tank beat that can beat Ryan as of right now.
Now do you kind of see where I'm at? That like it is confusing because at minimum we can say he is further along than Ryan. We can say that he is further along than Ryan. But Ryan has so many fucking flaws, man. Like he has so many flaws.
But the only thing has Tank fought a puncher with Ryan's pop yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the only puncher he fought didn't even have a jab, which is Isaac Cruz.
Rolly had a jab.
Man,
Ryan, he was out jabbing him.
Ryan's going to come out in his own.
The thing is, though, the key to beating Tank is consistency.
They're going to be playing fishnets by Moore's Day and the time and shit.
We haven't even seen how Tank reacts to getting a shot in the face. Like he hits that.
The thing is that if you're asking, if you're asking, do I think Davis can take Ryan's left hook? I honestly don't think he can take it. But you have to land it.
You don't think he can take it?
No, but I honestly don't think he can take it. I think he can.
I think he can.
But you have to land it though, and I'm not sure that you're going to land it.
Jules,
right?
Do you have any historical like knowledge on when two hype jobs fight? Like,
trying
to usually
think,
happens?
Two hype jobs. The last time, that's the thing. Hype jobs usually get exposed.
See, I don't think that's the hype job.
Peter Quillen and the ones that come to mind was Peter Quillen and Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, but Danny wasn't. The promotion wasn't behind Danny, and Danny.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's just the hype. Like both those dudes were. Triple G was ducking both those dudes.
Yeah, but can you really say that they were both hype jobs? Like Quillen was the hype job to me.
From that side, from like just as a minor, that's the only thing I can kind of quantify where they were both these boogeymen that Canelo or Triple G would never fight.
Man,
That's
listen.
it, really.
Nobody thought that. I know this. See, Quillen, motherfucker, the word was out on Quillen, bro, because you vacated to avoid Korobov. So motherfuckers, they knew what you were. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers knew. Like, but Danny was never. I never thought of Danny as a hype job.
Nah, he just always a workerman, like, you know,
No, because of the what was the fight? Danny got only because
P-Rog.
Jules, he got stopped at 54, right?
P-Rog.
P-Rog,
The P-Rog fight. That's why people thought he had hype.
But this the thing. P-Rog was a solid fighter. That wasn't like that wasn't like you lost to some bitch. That was P-Rog was a bad dude.
That was the guy who was supposed to fight Triple G.
Yeah, like motherfuckers still say like, yo, they wish they would have got to see P-Rog.
I know. I wish I would have got that fucking fight.
You know what I mean? So I never I can't say that Danny ever was a hype job. Like I knew Peter was a hype job. Like, bro, like you asked for Triple. I think he wanted like $6 million to fight Triple G. I'm like, bro, fuck.
I'll tell you this though. I would give Ryan a better shot if the fight was at 140.
Hey, Jules, there's a comment from Ignacio. I don't know if you can get to it, but I just want to say, fuck Lefty. He's a race-based bitch-ass motherfucker. I don't get me started with that. Fuck him.
Who?
Question my blackness because I question PBC. Lefty can suck a fat dick. So excuse my friend.
Let me tell you this, Ignacio. Lefty is lying. I've never even talked to that guy, bro. Never even talked to that guy. That's where it's at. Like, you know, people been sending me messages and shit that the dude keep bringing me up, and I'm like, bro. So you just realize that doing spaces for free on Twitter, it's not exactly what I'm doing.
That's the thing. Yo, you know what the life cycle is of these Sugar Talk spaces, Jules? So after they're done, they upload it to YouTube, and the average view count is like 10.
And look, you know what's bad about these guys? What's bad about them is you don't realize I would have been happy to help you. Do your thing. I would have been happy to help you. But something wrong, like, and I really believe, like, something wrong with some of these guys, man.
Can I just preface saying I don't want any drama with them because they're like terminally online. Like they use the internet way too much, bro.
I'm getting
I don't want to deal with them.
screenshots because Lefty's like, "Oh, you talk black." I'm like, "Bro, I'm busy getting money, bro. I don't have you blocked. You're on mute, so you arguing with yourself."
Yeah, like I don't
reaction, bro.
You,
like
you gotta understand that with that guy, right? I hear about the guy. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy. I don't even know what the guy look like. I'm not exaggerating it. Like I don't know the guy. With other people, there's a history. Like there's guys that literally probably was following on Ring IQ Facebook years ago that transitioned into Twitter, like the fat guy named He Who Greets with Fire, that fat motherfucker, or that John Boxing kid. They're like, yo, I literally have a video where I roasted him so bad he sent me money. That was in 2020. You know what I mean? There's other people that, I've spoken to them. I know who they are. I know what their history is. But that guy, I don't know that guy. Like, I legitimately don't know that.
When I first heard about that stuff and that, when someone put a poll of like who would win boxing debates, and they tagged a bunch of content creators, and you were in that fucking tournament, Jules, and then they're like, "Oh, Jules would have beat him in a debate." You remember that thread that was going on?
I remember the poll. Yeah, I remember there was like an account on Twitter that used to do polls about different subjects, and I remember that. I do remember that.
Right.
Hey, Ignacio. See, the thing is, you got a group of dudes who just hate Jules and hate this channel, man, and then we get idiots that come here all the time trying to start stuff. So I mean, we don't want to.
Listen. Let me speak for this. Let me just speak for myself. Listen, bro. The problem that he has is he wants my time, and my time is not free. That's the problem. I don't want to waste my time talking to you unless I'm gonna make money. It really is that simple, because that's what I'm getting from it. If you go into other places and you talking about me, it gotta be because you want my time, but you can't get it. And what you doing, you're not happy with it. See, if I cook up an episode of the Relay, do you think I'm thinking about you? You know what I mean? Like, really though, do you think I'm thinking about any of that silly ass? No, I'm not. You gotta talk about me though. You have to.
Now, Jules.
But also, if I could just add, like, people like of that ilk, they'll come on here when it is time to debate, and they won't even debate. They'll just interrupt and yell and like like
Well,
talk
look at
over
In other
people
words,
to
they're
like
like
to the point where it's
Snubbuck.
not even like it's entertainment, but it's not an actual like discussion or debate or exchange.
put
or
it this
anything.
way: if you go back and you watch Saturday's debate, the dude got on here, and I said, "Okay, well, what do you want to debate?"
Didn't
And
even know.
he wouldn't pick.
You're not good
Okay,
enough to
listen, I know
know what
about
the
Knockout.
topic
I
is.
debated Knockout twice on his channel. They gave him a very slim win on the first one vote away, and the other one they kind of gave him a little clearer 2-1. So I've battled him twice. All right, so I know about Knockout. Here's the deal. He does a lot of posturing. So when he got on, he was like, "Oh, you choose. You're not worthy." Like that's all posturing. That's all bravado posturing, bullshit, cockamamie nonsense.
Yeah.
I just know that
We say it on this
I
channel a
think that
lot.
what
Jules
he
calls it chicanery. They engage in chicanery.
I'll say this: maybe his idea of a debate is more of like a dance battle or something like that. And I say that I say that because of the posture in that. My understanding is the way you want to debate is to say things that are true, and you make salient points based on things that are true. So if I tell you A, B, C, and D, and it's based on a fact, well, that's how you win a debate. But if all you really trying to turn it into is like a shit talking contest, bro, what am I, 12 years old?
Yeah.
Like I saw what he tried to do.
Said he wasn't black.
No, but I kind of saw what he trying to do as a debate tactic. Like rather than not go point by point, the dude try to overwhelm me with information by saying all this shit.
Yeah,
Burying
filibustering.
Yep.
Like he'll just go on and on ad infinitum
Right.
because he doesn't
And
have an
talk
actual
over you
point.
too.
Now, Jules, you said you haven't seen Lefty, right? You never seen him before.
Yeah, I never.
Okay,
I don't listen.
look, I'm
I'm
gonna
not
say this real quick.
exaggerating. I don't know the dude.
Judge, I haven't seen that much of him too, right? Because I've seen his profile picture on Twitter. It's like I can see him from the back. That's all I can see him. I can't see his face, but I'm gonna guess that he looks like an Aldi's Gilly the Kid.
Listen, I'm good. I like being, and this is the funny shit. Like I said, I don't know the dude, so I can't have a problem with the dude because I don't know the dude. What I do remember is he was cool with you know who. So I'm gonna assume. Oh, I see what it is. I'm not gonna say no names because I want nobody bothering me.
Hey, Jules, the guy Joe's asking about.
You know why I got a problem with this dude though? Because he questioned my blackness because I questioned PBC. And I did my video and I didn't put his name out there, but since we're talking about it, I might as well say what it is. The thing is, he says you're using the same talking points of white supremacists. And I'm like, bro, facts are facts. Listen, facts are facts. At the end of the day, I'm a base whatever individual, whatever company is based off of those individual merits. And see, he didn't even know I was a black person. He was trying to act like I wasn't even black when we first. So he insulted me first right there. And then he comes in my inbox talking about where you from. I'm like, what does that matter? From Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where I was born. Or I drove through there. I'm so fucking what? And so he goes into the question I told him, I said, listen, I was a fan of PBC for a while. I was a champion. I championed them, but at a certain point, they pivot and started doing things that I did not like as a fight fan. That's just what it is. And if you look at 2022, this fight, none of those are pay-per-view worthy fights. He didn't have any debate for that. All he did was try and put up numbers. Okay, well, Top Rank did these numbers, how many views, and it wasn't. And Showtime is getting these numbers. I'm not talking about Top Rank. I don't give a fuck about Top Rank. I'm not a Bob Arum fan, but if he's giving me fights I want, I have no beef. So if he doesn't give me better beef and Bevo, I'm gonna have a beef with him when that time comes.
Exactly.
But it's not about Top Rank. It's about what PPC is doing. I'm basing it on their individual merits. And instead of him answering that, he keeps on talking about other bullshit. So you ain't got no facts. You only talking about how you feel. No, bro, it's a fact that none of these fights are pay-per-view, and you can't dispute that. And so he keep on until you show data. So I just took a screen clip about the Thurman Barrios pay-per-view numbers. And you posted somebody who put some fan and was saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You're an idiot. Bro, like
that's the other shit too. That's the other thing.
Even when you got to be with facts, you gotta be.
That's the other thing that like if you think that I want to have to be I really don't want to insult nobody. I don't want to be you a bitch. Like no dog. If we're gonna discuss something, we discuss it like adults. I'm not a child. I'm fucking 40, bro. All right. We're not gonna be over here, you bitch. We're not gonna do that. All right. And if that's what you want to do, you could do that shit by yourself. I'm fucking too old for that shit. That's the first thing. The second thing is these guys don't know what a debate is. That's why they lose, because they don't know. I think in their mind, maybe they think they sound good, or what they're saying is sound good. If what you're saying cannot be proven and it is not rooted in fact, you lost. You can't tell me about what you believe. I don't care about what you believe. You have to at least prove what you believe in. You have to find a way. Otherwise, there's no point of contention.
Well,
There has
George,
to be.
Over feelings.
in their mind,
It's pure conjecture.
in their mind, they
Exactly.
think they're solid, man. That's the problem.
You know, like for example, the dude on Saturday, he said that Crawford was negotiating simultaneously with Black Prime and the PBC, and I guess which would be a good point of contention. It would be. Where he lost is, okay, you're saying he didn't tell Al Heyman. He literally says that he did tell Al Heyman. So now, if you're having a debate, you have to prove that you have to prove what you're saying, that he didn't tell Al Heyman, because what you're saying is the opposite of what he's saying. So what corroborating evidence do you have that he didn't tell Al Heyman? You have to present that. And if you can't, you lost the debate, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You have
just
to
like
prove that.
Hey,
It's
Jules,
not
just
all,
like when he brought up all those points and you dissected him, like you
yeah,
know,
like
when you were
yeah, like
telling them he was in, they didn't choose, he were in a tournament, you know, and you even proved it. And he, you know, you took like 3 points away from him off the bat, and he had nothing to come back with. Nothing.
not just he just bounced to some other shit. And it's like, if we're gonna have a debate, for example, you know, like we could debate, who do you think was a bigger puncher, Sonny Liston or George Foreman? And even though it's based on belief, there is a point of contention there. There's a common ground for someone who might think Sonny Liston is a bigger puncher because he used to bang guys out with his jab, let alone his backhand. So there's a point of contention there. You could also do that with George Foreman and Mike Tyson. You could have a debate as to who you think the bigger puncher is based on what merits you think round out that argument. But we can't just we can't just make shit up as we go along, because then we're just yelling. We're not talking about anything factual, especially if you're making shit up that you can't verify. You can't even cite the sources for what you're saying. Everything I said, you can look it up yourself. It's all true. One, Usyk didn't get to pick and choose which champions he fought in what order in the World Boxing Super Series. They were seeded. It's a tournament. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Two, Canelo went to whatchamacallit first, before he even went to Callum, before he went to Billy. He went to Caleb first. So you can't use that that's called a false equivalent. You're trying to use that as a parallel for something, but it doesn't apply because it's not even true.
Exactly.
I can't talk to dumb motherfuckers, man. Like, look, man, just do your thing, bro.
You know what the problem is? There's a small group of dudes that are just straight extremist, pro idiot types, and they have it out for you and the channel. You know, they just don't like
the other thing is like the Crawford thing and Pacquiao. That's the other thing. Crawford never turned down Pacquiao. As soon as I believe 2020, either late 2020 or early 2021, Bob Arum himself said he was trying to get the money for Pacquiao versus Crawford, but he couldn't get it. He tried to go to Saudi Arabia to get it, but he couldn't get it. But at no point was it, oh yeah, Crawford turned down Pacquiao. If you have to lie, then why even talk, bro? What is there to debate?
Exactly.
Yeah, and the other thing is the dishonesty of these guys. It's like, okay, if Errol Spence doesn't fight Terence Crawford, he has to fight Thurman. That's what they were saying at the beginning, correct?
Yep.
Okay. But now, how Thurman got first and the WBC as a mandatory? Don't you think it's a little bit of coincidence? A guy that already satisfied his mandatory by the way of the Danny Garcia fight.
Mm-hmm.
So why is there ahead of Stanionis and fucking Penis? Why?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a little bit convenient, a guy that couldn't not even knock down a guy like Mario Vargas, who has already stopped? It's a mandatory.
Well, Leo, they listen. They've been planning this shit. That's all that matters. They've been planning that shit way before they announced fucking Crawford versus Avenesian. Way before they had to fucking announce the thing in the convention. Yo, I just put in the private chat. I put a link to a PDF file, right, that will show you the rankings they had on October of 2022 before they announced the fight between Spence and Crawford. They had him ranked ahead of Virgil. They had him held there quietly.
Bro, that's always, it's like the word I use, chicanery. That's literally
Yeah.
that's literally what that is. A literal example that this is a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years, and his last fight was a loss. And when you rank him ahead of active fighters, or at least fighters that are more active than he is, there has to be a reason for that, right? Well, what's the reason? You're putting him in line for Spence. It's obvious you're doing that.
Well, also, if I can add, like, the idea that Crawford was like negotiating with Avanesian behind Heyman's back is like, it's not like a true framing, because Avanesian's manager went out and said how it went down. That basically
48 hours.
Terrence's side was getting tired of all the stalling, which is what they were doing, and they just made him a $10 million offer. Like, why would he turn that down?
Yeah. If I gotta look up the guy's name because I did a video on it, and the guy said that, yo, we did the Crawford
Neil
fight
Marsh.
in 48 hours. Neil Marsh, we did the Crawford fight in 48 hours. That's his words. Unless you know more about their negotiations than they do, or unless you have some kind of corroborating evidence to prove that he's lying, you don't have a leg to stand on. You can't make an argument that Crawford was negotiating with these people behind Al Heyman's back when, one, according to Crawford, he told Al Heyman he would take a tune-up fight, and two, according to Neil Marsh, the fight between him and Crawford was actually only made in 48 hours, so he probably wasn't even in communication with them in the time frame that you're specifying. Maybe he was talking to Black Prime, maybe, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. But you were the priority because, according to Terrence Crawford, he said, Spence is the priority, and if that doesn't work out, I'll circle back. Those are his words.
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
to prove he's lying.
the speculation is that, okay, maybe Black Prime was the hedge fund that he was talking about that would offer the $25 million guarantees.
Perhaps. But that still doesn't. It's like if you're using that as the anchor to your argument to prove that Terrence was not negotiating in good faith, you have to bring up examples that counteract what Terrence Crawford said, like a timeline or screenshots, something that proves that he wasn't trying to fight Errol Spence Jr. And all we have in terms of concrete facts are what Terrence said. What makes it hard for a Spence fan is you don't have anything from Al Heyman because Al Heyman doesn't talk.
But what about the feelings?
Oh my God!
Like you would need to make an opposing argument. You would need Al Heyman and his version of the story. You don't have that. Errol doesn't say much. Errol hasn't said anything that disproves what Terrence said. A lot of what Errol said actually corroborates what Terrence said. A lot of it. People didn't want to believe, remember, which is why I don't like talking to these guys. Like, I really don't. They're dishonest by nature. Like, remember what the argument was. Oh, Crawford turned down 15 million. Oh, Crawford turned down 22 million. And as soon as Spence said, yeah, I wasn't going to get a guarantee either. Well, that changes things, doesn't it?
Bro, with the Joshua and Wilder, right, negotiation with that Loudmouth Lou tried to set up, right? We heard a figure, right? There, with Spence and Crawford negotiation, no reliable source came out with a number saying what was up for grabs.
But I'm glad you brought that up. A talking point during that time with Wilder and Joshua was that Joshua was supposedly not a part of the deal. Remember, there were people saying that, yeah, they wanted to sign Wilder, but Joshua wasn't part of the deal. Up until Wilder let it be known the money he was offered was for a Joshua fight. And then all of a sudden, that narrative went away. In other words, you're grasping at straws. These guys, they're grasping at straws. They'll gravitate to whatever they can say in the moment, even if they can't prove it. And once it's disproven, they act like they never said it. Yeah. You're saying that Terrence Crawford turned down 15 million and 22 million. And if I show you a video where Crawford says, I was never guaranteed anything at any point, what is your retort?
Nothing.
A rumor?
No, they're reporting now. Well, Spence wasn't getting nothing either. See now, they pivot. They pivot to the next argument that fits the narrative they wanted to play.
Thank you. And that's what literally they pivot. And I'm like, but wait a minute, don't pivot. If your argument was that Terrence Crawford turned down, say, X amount of dollars, doesn't that just kill the argument you just tried to make? You just tried to convince me that he turned down a vast sum of money. According to this, he didn't.
Right.
And you can't disprove it. Do you know more about his negotiations than him?
Right.
There are only two people that know about those negotiations in all actuality. Terrence Crawford and Al Heyman. Unless you're going to pull something out from Al Heyman, something that he said, you don't have a leg to stand on.
Nope.
And the other thing is the date of the supposed fight with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence.
It doesn't exist.
I never understood the backlash because I was like, what? Why does it matter that Terrence Crawford takes a tune-up against David Evanesian?
Because they
want. Well, also the PBC was never going to make a late fourth quarter fight between Crawford and Spence. They didn't have the money.
I thought that fight was supposed to be made to January or February, maybe. The date was set. So if Terrence Crawford is taking a fight but November, I don't remember. By the end of the year, that fucks up the fight. But it was never a date. Never.
Bro, look, I remember in late August and September, I was saying here on the channel, if that fight between Terrence and Errol were going to happen, they'd be ramping up promotion now. The fight would be made, and they'd be ramping up promotion now, because what are we talking about? An 8-week camp? Probably 10 weeks to promote the show. And I remember in September and late August and September, I was saying, they're not fighting. There's no way. Promotion hasn't started. Nothing is officially announced. And everything in reference to it were rumors from content creators, rumors from Joe Blow that says he has a source. Nothing verifiable, all right? In October, Keith Idek came out with that article that states in plain English, it was the PBC's plan to do the fight next year. Coincidentally, Crawford says the same. They wanted to do it next year. So he tells Al, yo, I'm going to take a tune-up fight this year, at which point he was given an ultimatum. If you fight this year, he's going to move on, and he's going to fight Keith Thurman. You don't have to believe me, because that's the beauty of citing my sources. It's in his video. I recorded it. You can go watch it. It's all in there. The thing is, they don't want to do that. They want you to do that for them.
Well, no, because
but also it was plainly obvious that the fight was never going to happen in November of last year. Remember last year when we were like all wondering like what the hell are they going to be putting up in the next few months, because they just went completely dark.
Exactly.
They weren't programming anything. They didn't have the money. It was obvious.
Remember in the summer that we heard about a blackout on Showtime in October, that there would be nothing going on in October. I remember
planning on 2022.
Yeah.
The seriousness of all this, though, Jules, is that the detractors, the most of it's jealous because of the access they don't have. That you have your sources. Like I get fucking hate because, well, why you get to go sit and have dinner with fucking Manny Robles and Sinisia's manager? How do you got these sources? Like, don't fucking worry about it.
Well, the other thing is that I don't think it's so much access. I think it's that my name. I don't even like saying this because I feel like a goof.
Well, no, Jules, you do have access. You're not media, but you have sources.
I do, but it's more like with them, it's that my name kind of ring bells for them, that it's a little bit hard to get away from because of the platform that they use. It's a little bit hard for them to get away from it. And I think that's what it really is, because generally speaking, we don't cross paths, and you don't get brought up where I am per se, not really, but I do get brought up. If I don't get brought up, you bring me up. You know what I mean? You end up talking about me, which then ends up with me talking about you. But in reality, you're a fool, because if you were smart, hey, I could have helped you. I wouldn't have minded helping out. But it is what it is.
Right.
And the other thing is, how long is this Thurman fight taking?
It's not even official, bro. Like it hasn't been officially announced.
It went from April to May, and then no official announcement. Rumors, sources.
And that's what the Crawford Spence fight was. I remember all of it, bro. All of these people that claim to have all this inside intel about numbers, anywhere in between 15 million to 22 million. And all I'm saying is, look, normally when it comes to stuff like this, if you're going to say A, B, C, and D, okay, the man himself is saying that he wasn't offered anything. So what you then are tasked to do is prove otherwise. Can you do it?
Mm-hmm.
See,
You know the answer, and you know the answer. No, you can't. You can't prove. Do you know more about his negotiations than him? You know the answer. No. So if he's saying that at no point he was guaranteed anything, what does that do to your story? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, because you know how the law works, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Okay, what can you prove? It's not complicated. If you have any kind of real concrete evidence that he was offered money and he turned it down, put it up. If you could have, you would have.
No, what they wanted from Crawford, right, is they wanted him to show the contract, right, that he was getting transparency. But it's not his fucking contract, is it? It was them that fucking wrote that shit up. His lawyer, Spence's lawyer.
Not even that. If Spence really wanted to, if Spence wanted to expose Crawford, they have the same contract. You don't have to wait for Crawford to post it. Errol could have posted because they have the same contract. Now, you don't see Errol posting contracts, right? But once again, it goes back to what I said before. You put the burden of proof on the accused when that's not how this works. The burden of proof is on the accuser, not the accused.
Exactly.
You have to prove what you're saying, not him. Mm-hmm. We know he's a party to negotiations. Who are you? Oh, I heard this on Blue Blood. Okay, who is he?
I host a Twitter space. You don't understand.
Oh, who are they?
I have real credibility.
Oh, I spoke to so-and-so. Well, and who is he? Was he a party to negotiations? Underneath it all, we all know that most of the arguments that are being made cannot be proven. But when one of the actual parties to those negotiations is saying something, you have to take it at face value because you have nothing to compare it to. Now, if you had Al Heyman saying, nah, that's not true. Okay, now we cooking with rice. Now at least we got a case of he said, she said. But we all know Al Heyman doesn't talk.
Look, this is not
Heyman doesn't even show his face.
Look, this is not the first time when a PBC fighter negotiates a fight with a particular fighter that the other guy, the non-PBC fighter, asks to the negotiation to be public. Why? Because you motherfuckers are hiding behind an NDA because you don't want to talk about the chicanery that's happening in that negotiation.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. They don't want people to know how lopsided these negotiations are. But when you have it's like it's so much wrong with the arguments that they make that go in direct opposition of other arguments that they've made. For example, if Wilder with one belt in your mind deserved 50%, how do you then turn around and say that Crawford doesn't deserve more than 35%? Wilder was at least offered a guarantee and a percentage. Crawford is offered no guarantee and an even lower percentage than Wilder was going to get. But in your mind, Wilder deserved 50%, but he deserves shit. Your logic.
They're trying to say Wilder in a draw.
Yeah, it's not cohesive. It's like it literally, it doesn't make sense. You're saying that Wilder should have got 50 with AJ, even though he only has one belt. Okay, but if he wants a guarantee, he's wrong, and he's getting less than Wilder was offered. It doesn't make sense. But it's coming from, individuals that don't make sense. You can't use logic on illogical motherfuckers.
No, you certainly can't.
You can't. It's never gonna work. At the end of the day, it's very simple. This is what Crawford is saying. Now you, who don't believe him, find evidence to not believe him. Find it, because it's on you. It's not on me to prove it. It's not on him to prove it. It's on you to prove it, because you're accusing him of lying. The burden of proof is on the accuser. So go get some proof. And Blue Blood or somebody telling you about a rumor, that's not proof, bro. And you know that. Fucking childish, bro. And anyway, this shouldn't be argued this much, because in all honesty, it's obvious. If we circumvent the negotiations of last year and we say, well, how do you know that the PBC was not committed to doing this fight. How do I know? Tom Brown admitted that they offered Errol Spence Jr. to Canelo Alvarez after the Plant fight. That is how I know.
They were really gonna feed him, yo.
That's how I know. The Crawford negotiations didn't start till May. That can be verified. That can actually be verified that those negotiations didn't start until the second quarter of last year. Before that, were you not offering this fighter to someone else? Yeah, you were. You admitted it. So what are we talking about then?
Well,
How were they committed to doing a Crawford fight?
What's even worse is once they start losing and they have no points, and they just revert to talking shit too on top of it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but talking shit doesn't do nothing. Like you didn't lose me no money talking shit. I made money. What did you
Right.
do?
right.
What
And
did
then,
you
and,
do?
and it, like that dude on Saturday, he runs off delusional. Oh, I cooked him real bad on his channel. No, you didn't. You didn't do anything, man.
And every post, he made posts from Saturday into Sunday, and in every post that he made on Twitter, there was just a bunch of people saying, "No, you got bodied. No, you got cooked. You're delusional." So it's like, bro, I don't.
The first stage of grief is denial.
Yeah.
So what the
Side of
telltale
River in
sign
Egypt.
was when you had people who didn't hear neither one of you, and they both said- like people. It was I saw like 5 or 6 comments from people who didn't really know about either one of you, and they was like, "Yeah, you lost that, bro." They told
Yeah.
KO that you lost that, bro.
A 72-hour damage control.
Shout out to Anthony for the Cash App donation. I appreciate you. And yeah, man, I think first you need to know what a debate is and your talking points. They need to be rooted at least in something that can be verified, something that I can go look at. That if you tell me, look, go over here and look at this, I can go look at it. If all you have are gossips and rumors, bro, that you don't even have a leg to stand on. Gossips. I could fucking sit here and gossip. I'm showing you. Tim Smith said this. He don't think this pay-per-view will make any money. Now use your common sense. Why would they want to do a fight that they anticipate won't make any money? And most of their arguments rely on being obtuse and having a lack of common sense. That if this guy is literally saying at the first month of the year, in January, well, we don't really think this is going to make any money. Do you think they want to do that fight? No, of course they don't want to do that fight. They wanted to do Canelo versus Spence. How do you know? Tom Brown said so.
You know what cracks me up too is that they cannot take criticism of their favorite fighter no matter what. They can't handle it, man. That's why they pop up on the channel and talk all that smack. You know?
I think it's because they're trying desperately to convince people of what they believe, and they're tired of their echo chamber, so they try to branch out. If I had to guess why there's this proliferation of trolls or why my name comes up, I believe it's because they're tired of pandering to the same audience, and they want to expand, but they can't because you don't have any proof of anything you're saying. That's why. If you really want to know why, that's why. Your audience is smaller than you realize, and now that you are realizing it, well, it's not going to grow with you just making up shit. Like, literally, it's not. It's not. If you're going to present yourself as a news source of any kind, the news has to be searchable and verifiable. It does, though. That matters. Telling the truth and being honest matters. Except to these motherfuckers. And you was cool. You was cool doing that for a while, but like I said, you're not going to grow doing that.
Some of these dudes are really freaking nuts, though. Like I'm not going to mention a name. I'm going to mention the initials, but you know who I'm talking about. SP. I saw a video where he told a dude he had his 7-year-old daughter locked in this room and that he was going to go pee in her mouth.
SP.
Oh,
Who's this?
no.
Who's this?
I know what you're talking about.
That is just sick.
Oh yeah, but that dude's a cartoon, bro. Come on, like I don't take that dude serious. Like, there's nothing to take. Like, even the worst.
The other dude told him.
The worst shit that he could say. The worst shit that he could say. You know what I mean? It's like, you a cartoon, bro. Like, you don't walk around acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, being real, you ain't walking around Chicago talking to people like that because you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Seriously,
most likely, man. You're a fucking Looney Tune, bro.
Like, you're not walking around Chicago acting like that. You would have been got shot. Like, come on now.
I remember when he came on here for like 2 seconds. He immediately just got cursed out and kicked out.
Yeah, because of what he said about Kobe's daughter, bro. I seen that video. I ain't like that shit, man. When Kobe
That's an
died, bro,
outright
that shit
disgusting,
hurt,
sickening
bro.
thing to say, man.
When Kobe died, that shit, like, damn, he died with his daughter too. That shit was hard, man. That shit is
Bro,
sad as a
and
motherfucker.
all that he's saying all this shit in defense of the most mediocre fucking boxing promotion in the world.
He just found a niche. He just found a niche on YouTube, and you know that's his angle of the niche. I mean, a lot of these guys is just like, bro, just I don't even. It's like, bro, like just
Yeah,
go
I mean
die.
that's disgusting, dude. The fact that he would say something like that twisted. I don't care what kind of comments or ratings you're trying to get. That's something you don't say.
Yeah, D Money, he claimed it though, so I don't even know. And I'm like, bro, ain't no way you walking around shy. Ain't no way you walking around and shy talking to people like that, man. Like, so I'm pretty sure you don't. You just internet. You're like what's Charlie Z? He's like that guy. He's like Charlie Zelenoff. You know what I mean? Like he's like that guy. Like, come on, be like you'd have been got shot, bro. Like, really though, like you've been got shot. We know you ain't doing that. You just doing that for the internet. So you know, doing it for the Vine. But yeah, that Kobe shit, I didn't like that shit when he talked about.
Yeah, even from fucking sane people, I heard some disgusting shit that don't even care about sports. That lose sight of the fact that not just Kobe died, her daughter died, and like 4 other people died in that fucking plane crash. But they want to fucking harp on Kobe and the fucking rape case that got settled out of court fucking years ago.
Yeah, I remember that, and I didn't even believe that. I'm gonna be real. I just didn't believe that shit, man. I didn't believe that shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like that shit.
She just couldn't handle it, and Kobe was basically cheating on his wife.
That's what it was. She like I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. He lives in Schaumburg, Illinois. Yo, I don't know, man. I just know he ain't walking around.
We don't do doxing here. Sorry.
Keyword sham.
Will get us in trouble.
For real. What the fuck is doxing?
It's when you try to reveal person's like private info, like their address, their phone number. Yeah.
Shit like that.
That's how they do. That's how they play pranks on people.
I didn't know they had. I didn't know they had a word for it.
Okay, wait. Someone has any news about Manny Pacquiao being sued?
No, I didn't hear nothing about that.
It's on Boxing Scene.
Really?
Yeah.
by
Paradigm Sports.
Paradigm? Oh, it's probably because of the It's probably because of the old lawsuit. You remember the old lawsuit that basically he was negotiating with. He was supposed to have a fight with Mikey Garcia, and Paradigm tried to sue him for the value of the fight had it happened or whatever. And basically, the crux of their case was because he didn't have the Mikey Garcia fight, it costed them money. But that's like saying that he was obligated to fight Mikey, which he wasn't because he never signed a contract to fight Mikey. If there's no signed contract, there's no liability. But I remember I read those documents and it was like, so what's the crux of the case? You mad that he didn't fight Mikey and you didn't get paid? Because that's what I got from it. That's a frivolous lawsuit. I don't think they're gonna win any money.
Damn. Have you guys heard of Roy Jones fighting again recently?
Bro, he wanna die. He wanna die.
Leave my man Roy alone. Leave him alone. Leave my bro Roy alone.
I fuck with Roy, but he wanna die, bro. Like he trying to die. Like he really trying to go out like on some Spartan shit. Like, bro, just stop fighting people, bro. Stop fighting people.
It's time to stay retired, man. I mean, I love Roy, but man, stay retired, bro. Please.
Why don't he just do commentator work? I don't understand that. Like, bro, he's
so
a
good with
great
HBO.
Commentator.
Yeah.
Bro, I miss HBO so bad. Like relative to like the commentators you have now, like HBO was like the gold standard.
Oh yeah,
man, I loved Boxing After Dark too. I missed that.
Yeah, Boxing After Dark was good, man. Great fights open.
Yeah, and then you know what else I missed too is well, they had two days. It was either Friday night fights or Tuesday night fights. They did both. I missed those too, man. You guys ever
that was
watched
back in the 90s, man. ESPN had that Friday night fights, and USA Network had Tuesday night fights. I remember that.
Yeah, I missed those.
Damn,
man.
so old boy is really running around lying. That's crazy. I just realized that I just realized what Ignacio said, that the dude challenged me to a debate. When? Where?
Who?
The lefty person.
Oh,
it just dawned on me, like, bro, how you saying you talk? I have never spoken to you ever. Wow.
And don't plan to. You know.
I mean, he could jump
they
here at
don't
any
click the
time.
link, man. You post the link live
and
in fucking Twitter.
On
They
camera.
don't show up.
He could jump on here at any time and get humiliated.
Please make it happen next.
Yeah.
The only problem with these type of dudes though is that you might need like a moderator because they like talk over too fast and they like to fill.
Yeah, I'll set like a if we're gonna do it like a conventional debate, you would need a moderator. You would need a line of questioning, and you would need to set a time limit for the amount of time that each person gets to talk. If you're gonna do that, if you're talking about like a real debate and not just a dude trying to get on camera and that's how you do it. No, because that's how you do that. Now, if you're both mature, you can do it amongst yourselves. If you're both mature enough to not hoop and holler and you doing Eubank shit and shit.
Eubank shit. Damn. They get knocked out
Hey,
too.
Jules, have you talked to Mark lately, man? That guy hasn't been
Nah,
around.
man. Mark dropped off the YTBC, man. He fell off the face of the earth, bro. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times on this channel. I found O'Brien Harkin. You know, he's all right. You know, but he just rather stay away from it. You know, I don't blame him.
What is toxic, man? I mean, look at the shit I got to deal with. These people use my name for everything, bro.
Word.
That
just
shit
the
is-
other day, like I saw you, like they already had a thumbnail of you looking ugly and shit, and they had a dark filter. Like it's already some TMZ shit.
Yeah, but they even accused you of stealing the
Regular
word
cute
"fuck,"
body.
you know?
Oh, and then they got the homicide shit. Oh, like wasted. Oh shit, Julius, I agree. He just running his mouth because he won't debate you here, but he'll debate on his channel. Yeah, like basically, like put yourself in my shoes. What the fuck do I get out of debating on your tiny platform? Do I even get any money? Hey, look, I'm gonna make him the same offer I make everybody. If you can compensate me fiscally for the money I would have made on my own channel, I'll be happy to go. I need
What's the price?
$150 to $200.
Damn.
Eastside Jules, man.
I'm not, and I could show, like I have the corroborating evidence that look, if I stay on my channel, I'm going to get at least 150 to 200. So if you could cash at me that, yeah, of course I'll go to your channel. Just cash at me that, and we could work. But nobody's gonna do that. Like, really, you're gonna send me 150 or $200 just to talk to you? You better. You better.
Yeah, Neil says the dude got accused of being racist.
Oh yeah, that was the last straw for him. I remember that. That was the last straw for because it's like that's not something you want to be accused of. One, let alone baselessly. Like I forgot who accused him of that. Oh wait, I remember. Yeah, I stayed out of that shit. I remember who accused him. I will say no names. But I stayed out of that shit because I'm cool with both. But yeah, he just got tired of that shit, man. He didn't appreciate it, which I get it. Like, I get that.
Bro, I remember that guy on
do you
Twitter.
still
Like
get bothered
he
by
said
that
something
Twitter-
about like the language you're using was the same language that like dictators would use before committing a genocide. Like,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
Boxing Twitter is the softest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yo, the funny shit is that was Scoon TV, right? That's another content creator here on YouTube, but he's also very active on Twitter. And you know, he was talking about Bob Arum. He was basically saying that Bob Arum was down to snitch on Daniel Kinahan. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's down to snitch on him. He has a background in law. I mean, that's where he got his start. He was working in the judicial system, you know, like, what do you think? He's a wise guy? We joke around a lot, but that's facts. He was in the Kennedy administration. He was in law. He was a tax attorney. So, I mean, yeah, he would be willing to snitch on Daniel Kinahan.
Yeah, man.
If he's anything, Bob Aaron is a professional snitch.
But also,
of he was
didn't Bob like cut ties with some former top rank person because they were like accused of fixing fights by the FBI or some shit like that years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he testified. I think he testified against Heyman, unless I'm mistaken. Something to do with that, but I do think he testified against Heyman. I remember hearing something like that. But it's like, well, listen, I don't know what you think Bob Arum is, but he's not a wise guy if that's what you have in mind. So I don't consider it snitching unless you're a criminal. If you're a criminal, yeah, you snitching, you ratting. Bob is not, you know, a criminal. If he's a criminal, he's a white collar criminal, I guess. But he's not a wise guy, you know. He's not like fucking. He's not one of the Sopranos. He's fucking background in law, bro. Like, of course she got friends in high places. I do think, like Alexis put up a theory that the reason there was so much American heat on Daniel Kinahan as of late is because Daniel was trying to expand into Bob's area of operations, which is America. And I do believe that, yeah, Bob got his buddies, his buddies, you know, higher up buddies, to do something about that. I do believe that. It's a theory, but I believe it. That he has those kinds of relationships, of course.
And even Bob said that, like, Kinahan tried to strong arm him in some deal. I think it was one of the Tyson Fury fights, and
Hey,
that rubbed
Jules,
him the wrong way.
do you still get bothered by the person we cannot name?
Not lately.
That's good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Is this
Not
fruit related?
What?
Because there's like some lady that I don't want to. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
we don't
man,
need to
that's-
mention
Is it the
that.
same one?
It's the person we cannot name.
Oh, okay.
Lately, thank God, but I mean, it's cyclical. It's cyclical.
Oh,
Which-
every 2 months, every 2 weeks, right?
I would say more months. I would say
end
more
of the
months. There were flare-ups, and I
like a disease or something.
No.
I believe, and I believe that the flare-ups have something to do with the consumption of certain produce and what effect it has on libido that leads to the flare-ups due to frustration and lack of release. That's what I believe. I'm being as PC and PG as possible because that's what it seems like, that, you know, you kind of backed up, you're not getting release, you get mad at the world.
So this person needs a phallic. So what you're saying, Jules, is that this person needs a phallic shaped like fruit to calm her down.
Yes.
What you're talking
Right.
about, Julius,
And
is
maybe
something like
multiple.
what
Drop
you're
some
talking
super
about,
chats.
Julius,
Let's help us get a
is
Sibian.
something
What
like
did you say, Leo?
what Julius is talking about sounds to me like some kind of social media cold sore or something.
No.
That comes and goes. And
Well, the reason if you pattern the behavior to behaviors that you've experienced in the real world, it's like if you have, like, say, an ex, and, you know, on a regular basis you don't like each other, but when they get, you know, like when they you know, and they'll start bugging you, that's kind of the air. Like, that's kind of what it is. Like, what is with these periodic flare-ups? If not for other people mentioning me, I would literally forget them. But the fact that I can't, like, for example, the last couple of weeks in that name that I won't mention, it was because I was being mentioned. That's the only reason, because I was accused of having burner accounts. And all I'm saying is, no, I'm not that person. Me and that person are not the same person. And I can prove it. You know, because you're saying that I would use a burner account to keep tabs on somebody. I have one Twitter account. One. I'm fucking 40. I don't have time for burners and shit like that.
Right.
They accused me and Base of being the same person. I'm like, no, Base is a black guy from the UK. I am not Base.
Two different continents, you know,
Yeah.
two different people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
wrong by an entire continent.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like they're just. I feel like they're just rationalizing the reasons to bring me up. To be honest, that's what it feels like. Ignacio says Broadway Joel was gassing him up on his channel, and he was talking about when I said everything was cap, and he got pissed when I said he would get. Hey man, he probably would. Like, to be honest, yeah, like, shit. I like my odds against anybody. To be honest, like, you're gonna have to. I don't know. You're gonna have to get somebody, and the debate has to be a debate worth having. A point of contention that can be contended. Yeah, we can't just debate anything. We might even agree on some things, so we can't debate those things. But yeah, I like my odds against anybody, man. For real. They just want to rig the game, I think. That's what I think. They want to rig the game like, oh yeah, you want me to go over here so that all your buddies can be there, right? That's cute. Yeah, I'm still Base the Kid, bro. We're the same person. Shit is
Julius is just
crazy.
in disguise, man.
Yeah, this is a mask.
Yeah, you actually have a zipper behind your back. You just have to
Yeah,
zip
there's
it
a
up.
zipper behind my head. All I gotta do
Yep.
is zip and out
Hey,
come
It's
out
the
I go.
kid.
turns into
Damn.
the anti-Julius, you know.
Yeah, man. And I don't know, like, just hey, Ignacio, if anything, tell him if he's ready to step up to the plate. You know, shit, you could tell him. But otherwise, you could stop bringing me up and stop lying. Me and you don't talk.
Maybe Beats should host a space, and you two could.
Yeah, let Beats do. Yeah, let Beats
neutral
do it.
location with a moderator.
Exactly. Let Beats do it because I fuck with Beats. I don't have no problem with him getting the money. Let him get the money. You know what I mean? Or Lady Chan. Let her get the money.
And look, it is different for Julius when, for example, Mirage, when he came up at the channel. I'm not gonna say we are jumping him, but he was actually arguing with 10 people, and it wasn't a debate, but for him to talk to 10 people, he's gonna get he never got tired. I give him that because he was there for 4 fucking hours.
No, listen, he has great. Shout out to Mirage because he really gave me a fan of himself.
Mirage hung in. Yo, real talk. Mirage hung in there like a fucking Sarah J gangbang.
Oh.
No,
he was like the Marvin Hagler of idiocy. The way he would continue coming forward. But no, but in all seriousness, like even the panel wasn't even hostile enough to the fact that he still came back, and I feel like that's great. That he can.
No,
that he feels he
like
can
I
still
said,
come back and
believe it or not, I enjoyed it, and I would welcome him back. Not just because like outside of being obtuse, he was on the channel the other day, and it was a nice regular conversation.
He was actually behaving well that day, man. But that.
So, I mean, I like Mirage, but if he can, if whatchamacallit and who the fuck want to jump on, hey, that's more money for me. So
yeah, and it's not hostile or personal. Like we still talk about boxing.
Well, what the thing with them is, see, for me, with them, it's not hostile or personal, but them to me, it is hostile.
Like, bro, all this shit is never worth me like going through your social media and like posting pictures of people's family and all this other dumb shit. Like, it's just boxing, bro.
Yeah, like in other words, like, and I wouldn't even reciprocate because how could I put it? I don't know how to put it. It's just like it's beneath me. It's beneath me. I don't want to do that.
Right.
It's beneath me.
But
you're doing that because I'm living rent free in your head for whatever reason.
Yeah, and in the case of Mirage, he never asked for the other people of the channel to jump off. No, he jumped in the panel and
when there were already people.
Yeah, but if anyone wants to debate with Julius in his channel, and he asks, okay, I need the other people to leave it, to be out because I don't think it's fair. Julius is gonna comply because he's not that kind of guy.
Hey, it's Esau, man.
But they have to make me out to be the bad guy. This is what I mean. That they have to. All these things that get said, none of them are true. You have to make me out to be the bad guy. You have to, because in reality, you're the bad guy. No. I'm gonna rephrase that. You have to make me out to be the sack of shit, right? Because in reality, you're the sack of shit, and I'm the bad guy. Because if I bring you on and then I embarrass you, I'm the bad guy, right? Even though you're the one looking for me and mentioning me. Ha ha ha. Esau, man, what it do? When men start screaming, cussing over boxing opinions, it's ridiculous. Housewives of Atlanta,
yeah, the housewives of fucking boxing Twitter. That's what they are.
Like, if you really want to have a debate or a discussion and you want to impress people with your intellect, or you want to display that you're more intelligent than someone else, screaming, cursing, talking over, that's not the way to do it.
No.
I mean,
it's not
seriously.
a sign of boys. It's a sign of just sniveling emotion, man.
Honestly, like if you really want to show that you're smarter than me, there are ways to do that, but you can't do it because you're not smarter than me. Think about it. The only way you're going to get my time is if you pay me. If you pay me, I've already outsmarted you. If you come here, I've already outsmarted you. It's no win scenario. No win. All you can do is be used as a tool to put more money in my pocket. Oh man.
Well, like in the case of Mirage, I mean, we didn't jump him. He brought that shit on himself.
No, but Mirage, the other thing about Mirage is Mirage came at a time when the panel was full, so it's not actually a debate. You wanted to join the panel that was already there based on what was being said by the panel. So it's not people jumping on him in all actuality because you wanted to engage in that discussion. That's very different from saying, well, I want to debate this subject with you, so let's go. I'm like, yeah,
Right,
of course
right.
I'll clear,
But you know
of
what?
course I'll clear the panel
did
for you.
He did chill
Yeah,
out.
I mean, all thanks to me. I dropped off so you can come out. You know, be
Yo,
embarrassed.
yo.
He was cool. How
Word.
much
That's
BBC?
exactly what that is. No, it's love and love and PBC. That's what
Love
it
and
is.
PBC, bro.
Yeah,
Yo,
he was actually cool the second time around, though. He was actually really cool. I'll give him that, you know. And I'll
hey,
give
like
him.
I said, he left a good impression on me in spite of being obtuse the first time out, but he left a good impression on me. You know, make your points.
Yeah, that guy's stubborn. I'll give him that, man. He hung in there really good.
He's got great endurance, that guy.
Yeah.
Good cardio.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like Sarah J in a gangbang.
I think. Look, I don't know IBF. I don't actually know IBFP. I've heard very good things about him, though. Some people say that what is it? I think they said that me and him differ when it comes to the Spence and Crawford topic. I've heard that, so I guess that would be one debate that we could have. You know what I mean? Because I have heard that he's actually very partial to Spence. So if me and him were going to debate something, it would be that, because I've seen his other videos and I've agreed with a lot of what he said about other subjects. I've seen some of his stuff, and it was usually I think it was about Canelo. I think it was, and I was like, yeah, I agree with him. So you know,
yeah, I mean, he's salient points, but once he gets to Crawford, you know, he comes off like a bullshit.
Wasn't he like a glove gator of Crawford? Like
I don't I don't know. That I don't know.
Dude is a nut.
But yeah,
I'll drop off, man. Yo, it's been good talking to you guys.
All right, man. I'll holler at you.
Yeah,
I'm about to
peace.
drop off too. I'm just about to smoke this cigarette and drop off. But yeah, yo.
IVF is, I think, is entertaining, but it lacks nuance. I think Julius is more complete in that matter because it strikes me like a guy that read about the subject less. That's all.
I saw him have a debate with Southpaw, and like I said, he was making salient points, even though the Southpaw guy was trying very hard to be childish. But I saw that debate between him and Southpaw, and he was making salient points. IBFP, he was. So, like I said, I don't have a low opinion of him.
Kua says he rides Spence hard and blames Bud. So,
well, you know that then I guess that would be one subject, but obviously, you know, I ain't looking for a debate, but I'll be happy to have one.
Right.
Be happy to have one. Because I've seen that, you know, the guy can talk without the insults and all the extra shit. Like, cause there's just no point in that, bro. I'm 40 years old. Like,
hey,
come on, man.
Jules, what went down with you and BV, man?
Oh, with Bruce, I'm trying to remember what started that, but it was the same dichotomy. He said something about someone left a comment. I remember that someone left a comment on a video of his, and based on that comment, he came at me. That's what I remember. Because I never had an issue with the guy before that, and I remember it had something to do with someone leaving a comment under one of his videos, and it was about me. It was some kind of shit, and I guess he didn't like it, so he came at me.
I mean, I've listened to some of his stuff. Now, sometimes he does make some good points, but there's other times he just goes off the freaking charts with like ridiculousness. You know.
Well, I haven't seen much of his content lately, to be completely honest. I don't know that he's making content as frequently as he used to.
Oh,
I remember,
is. He is.
I remember during Glovegate he was uploading a lot of stuff because I remember seeing a lot of it in the suggestion
Although
box.
he actually battles with a lot of the aerosexuals, though he's like totally opposed to them. You know,
he sounds like a great guy.
which sounds kind of funny, which is kind of funny to me. But he's very overboard on the whole race and racist stuff in boxing and stuff. I mean, it's there, but he really goes overboard on it a lot. You know.
See, I think a creator that I like is True School Sports. I think he's pretty balanced. But when it comes to Canelo, like he's like IBFE, where he just loses his mind on that topic.
I saw that in the Boxing Voice. The Boxing Voice had Nesta Gibbs in them. They had him on one time, and I know him. Like I know of True School. He actually is pretty good. He's knowledgeable. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he pops up on your channel on occasion too.
He's a good guy. I just know that he doesn't really, or at least for a period. I don't know how he feels now, but I know that he wasn't very big on Canelo. I remember that.
He was a huge Andre guy. I think that's like he's kind of softened on that issue a bit. Like he kind of like.
You kind of have to when Andre gets knocked down by Desmond Nicholson. You kind of have to, like, bro. We're gonna keep doing this.
Oh, well, now we got elbow gate with freaking Eubank and Smith, man.
Yeah, but it's I'm gonna say that. Look, even if an elbow got in, it's a fight, bro. It's like people forget it's a fight, bro. I know elbows is illegal, and I understand that, but it's a fight. Do I think Beefy was trying to hit him with the elbow? Nah, not really. It's in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? It's in the heat of the moment.
Right.
I don't really think it was his intention to hit him with an elbow. I just think, look, that's what happened, and it's a fight, and shit is gonna happen. But I don't think it was deliberate.
Right. I don't think so either.
But is Punch Dominican?
I think he is.
Bro, Dominicans run boxing YouTube. Yo, everybody's Dominican.
Yeah, man, shit. That's weird. That's actually true. Sort of.
Dude, I don't understand the Liam Smith elbow gate because look at Sandra Ward's whole career. It's only most of that fight is only elbows. I'm not talking about that what Mayweather did using his forehand. No, they're legitimate elbows thrown in the inside, so short that the referee didn't catch him. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the subject of Josh Warrington's headbutts, whether or not it's deliberate. And I always think to myself, look, by now the opponent has to know that at minimum he has this reputation. So, it's something that you have to look out for. But once you sign that waiver, it's on you, bro. Like, it's on you, yo. Like, you signed up for this. You know who he is. You know what he does. By now you do. And I don't even know that it's deliberate with Josh, because the other thing is, it's just the way that he fights, the way that he gets within proximity of his opponent. It happens. And I can't tell if it's with Holyfield. I could tell it's deliberate, bro. He's trying to come hunker down and then come up head first and hit you with the top of his head. You could tell that it was deliberate with Holyfield. But with Josh Warrington, I don't know if it's deliberate. It could be, but I don't know if it's deliberate because it could just be the way that he fights. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up right there and take a shit.
Yeah.
I'll at y'all, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.